As we potentially begin our journey for the 5th session that we have going on, let me make sure I actually change our stream to the proper session title. As we move back into our story, everybody's had a good time from our little break or week. We're ready to begin. We're all here, right? Like, we don't miss anybody?
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody need anything before we begin, or are we good to go?
I'm good.
I think we're chilling.
How are we doing, Kat? Feeling? Zap, we're doing good?
Yes. Sorry. Yes. I told you.
I know.
Do stuff.
I'm just checking.
Mwah. Kissy. Mwah.
All right. With that note, let's just go ahead and begin. The group around the fire of the night, sharing their stories and intermingling between. We must stop as we pan over to one of our individuals taking a step away from the group. That flood of moments before the memory of leaving the city, and also just the representation of a demeanor that hides everything oh so well. This is a long day that you have spent, and we are going to flash yourself back to what was happening in the city of Oracle. You're stepping into your guild hall for Volcom. The tile kind of clacks as you walk in for the first times in a while, and your resignation to your guild awaits. You are in this area right now.
Okay. Is the resignation like a paper? I assume, or something.
You are as sure that you kind of walk up to the same place where you got your job. There's head people or names and faces. But Volcom was always good about keeping people like kind of secret, so that way your jobs and stuff were protected. You walk up to the nearest counter you can find, the same way you walked up the first time you walked into the kingdom, and you're kind of greeted with a similar face of a half elven man who's currently just engaged in a small like conversation. It looks like their hand is over their ear, and they're like talking and ascending to return to somebody, and they kind of look up and like finish their sending off and looking up towards you. They just kind of like stare up at you, and then for a moment the pause is there, and they look again. It's like, can I help you?
I want to stop taking jobs for Volcom for a while.
Oh. Yeah. We can... Do you have a contract? Yeah. We can do that. That's unfortunate to hear. So sorry about that. You see he kind of goes over, leans over to the side, and you see he kind of grabs a book, like kind of like a large, like oversized book charter, and flips the pages open to like the recent days, like. And you've been with us for how long now, Mister?
I haven't really kept track at the time. Probably a year or two.
Kind of looks and flips another few pages back. It's like, and your name?
Cornelian.
And just kind of goes through and points over. And you kind of see his eyes widen for a second. You can make an insight check.
Perception?
Insight.
Insight.
That'd been a different story.
22.
A 22. This person has woken up from whatever the hell they were autopiloted on because they have seen something. You can't help kind of glance over at what they're seeing, and you kind of see like there's a highlighted form under your name. You're not sure what that means, but you do get the sense that this person kind of like sits upright and pays attention a little bit more. As that says, as you kind of give the name of the show, it's like, you actually have been summoned. You got sent a message to come, apparently, and you see that ascending note kind of flies in from behind you, reaching you finally, like it had not met you prior. And it kind of like flies up and like says that did not make it to you in time, but you're here now, so we can do this. To your resignation, we must have you talk to one of our knights. Apparently, there was a claim made under your name, and I think you should follow me.
Okay.
Just kind of stands up. You see he kind of goes to the side, opens up the doorway, kind of like leading between you and him, enters into your area, and you two walk across the hall for Volcom. There's a couple people who are just walking by. Some of them kind of look over, not in recognition, but more of like the eyebrows kind of raising that you're being escorted somewhere. As the walk kind of goes, you are led into a hall. The same clacking of the tile kind of gets ominous as you guys are now the only two walking for a moment. He's quiet as you continue to walk. Eventually, you guys arrive to another opened area where you see 3 or 4 other individuals, and to the right, kind of entering into the room, you see that there is a familiar face. You see Captain Osori, which was the captain of the ship that you had intervened with in this room.
Okay.
You kind of see this on your right-hand side as you're walking in, and then you see that there's a couple other individuals, maybe a few, like, maybe there are other people on that ship, but hard to recognize faces. As you enter into the room, the person stops, lets you by. It's like, this may just take a moment. Just wait here. You stop. You're about maybe 30 or 40 feet away from that captain, and then there's like a couple other people who may have been on that ship also in here. And there seems to be a conversation concluding about something with like some well-dressed individuals beyond, and this half-elven man just kind of walks over swiftly to that group of well-dressed individuals and starts talking to them. You have a moment here to kind of like gauge the situation.
Yeah, I guess I'll kind of like lurk around eavesdropping.
A lot of the conversations are short and kind of as you kind of make your appearance have fallen a bit shorter as well. Your appearance seems to have caused a bit of a stir between some people, and the Captain Osori actually takes an eye to you and avoids conversation with you. You see that he sees you and just kind of turns a face and to somebody else and like continues to talk to them.
I kind of glare over and then I'll get near a wall and kind of just lean on the wall.
As you kind of start stepping away towards like a corner to skulk around in, a voice is heard from behind you. It's like, "Don't go anywhere, please. We're just about to begin." You turn your face once more to look, and you see a high elven form, kind of like more regal in its appearance, but has like this pale blue skin that kind of, and this black hair that's jet black across the top. It's slicked back and has this like curliness to it on the ends. Pointed eyes kind of come back to you. It's like, "Please come back. Let's just finish this, shall we? Everybody, we are here. Great." And he claps his hand. You guys feel the terrain change around you as most of the stone tile that was below you now is morphed and become into like different chairs and scenarios. You guys feel the room shifting into what would be a couple rows of seats. In the front, there's like a couple boxes that like form, and then to the right, there's like another box of like individuals who are there, and like individual on the other side. And there's a lot more people here now. You kind of like look left and right, and you noticing the terrain shift around you all. Cornelian, please. Would you come ahead? Come.
Okay, gonna walk forwards towards him.
Yeah. Captain Osori. And you see a hand points over, and you see Captain Osori, who steps to a different direction, kind of walking into another area. The high of an individual kind of puts their hands together and like holds it tight in front of their chest. Look around. They say, "We protect our members under the effects, but the damages to our trust is unacceptable. Your resignation is declined, Cornelian. We instead invoked your pact, Volcom, for Clause 26, delivery of services under your name of the guild." You see a large opening of a illusion kind of float of like the different lines of like agreement that you had agreed to for the Volcom contracts just kind of flashing across your face. As magic basically fills into the room, you see the lines reading out, "Delivery of service under the name of the guild without authorization will reserve right to the guild for allocation of service member penalty, of which default is due at the time of the established penalty." Very generic like line of lingo, but also didn't matter to you at the time. So you see the line, and you're like, "Ah, shit." You start getting that feeling of like, did I fuck up in some way? The high oven individual kind of opens the hands once more. Specifically, you fall under Clause 2, and it says failure to pay penalty is acquisition towards crucial services. Underpayment is made, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, there's a bunch of legal jargon that starts flailing in the air, and you see Captain Osori, who's kind of now getting a little bit of a smirk. A little bit. And you catch that. The last thing you kind of hear in the moment is, "Now, Cornelian, you see, you had wanted to relinquish your services, but there had been some foul play, as we have found from Captain Osori. Another Volcom contract interjected into this issue above the city, and we had taken claim from this captain here, not from Volcom, that one of our members had been involved in a horrible accident above the Strands. Now, you are protected underneath your rights, underneath our bounty program, but we cannot accept the damages to our reputation. I hope you understand this."
Your what? Sorry?
Our reputation, Cornelian. Now, come on, keep up. You took on a name and you took on a contract with us as Volcom. It got you your benefits of gold and every rich you needed. Kept you safe, kept you secure. But
Well, go on.
you kind of like raise the eyebrows like, but we are just. We don't expect you to come forth and claim ownership of anything that an action that's taken above there. We'd rather just wipe the slate clean. Do you agree?
Okay.
And this, as soon as that kind of okay kind of shivers and like the grit of your teeth happens, instead we will establish a penalty cost for the services and the damages to the ship, and we will be acquisitioning that from your services that you had provided.
I just want to clarify. I was not on that ship when it was going or went down.
On the contraire, you see, pointing over the Captain Osori, and you see a shift of like mouth move as the mind of Captain Osori's memory kind of like is pulled from the mind, and you see the exact scene that is pulled up in front of you, Cornelian, that image of minor illusion that throws up of you standing on top of the ship, walking up and saying, yeah, I'm with Volcom. And then the comments like, yeah, these are my crew members. And it like just starts playing out in front of you. And you're like, ugh.
Well, see, I was there for the start to try to help out the ship and whatnot, but I got off the ship once I realized there's not much I could do.
You feel the kind of like the presence of like someone who kind of, they put a hand up just to wait for you to finish. As you continue your speech out forward, the hand raises and they say, please, let us to finish.
Okay.
The Oracle Incoming Citizen Program protects under Arcanian law that we can't allow any type of individual employee fees greater than 10 times their annual income. And based upon your recent income in the last year and a half, and also that you fall under the 2 cycles that you live here, we can't necessarily even charge you the accrued cost of the service. The total estimated cost that you would owe is 62,721 gold and 7 silver from the cost of damages to the ship, along with the loss of revenue for Volcom. The copay insurance coverage for the member fees deducts half of that cost to about 31,361 gold and 2 silver. And as that word comes out, you're kind of like looking around like, are they fucking serious? That is an exorbitant amount of money. They continue on a little bit more. Said you must be charged a minimum of 3,600 gold based upon your modest lifestyle, Cornelian, and the payment is due immediately. And there's like a pause as everybody kind of just stops and looks at you for a second.
Is it? Is that all?
They kind of look, and it's like, if you're not able to pay, we will have to enact our second clause of your contract.
Well, am I able to rebuttal this at all? Like,
You have the right under Arcanium law to appeal the cost. You will have to take it with the Council of Civility to request the appeal. However, if unable to pay at the immediate time, we will be enacting our second clause of failure to pay penalty.
I'm just a little confused on how this person walks in here and displays one specific memory, but can't display a memory of me being on the ship or being the cause of the ship's failure.
Unfortunately, Carnelian, some of our best augurs of the city have been able to assess the crime of what is committed, and it wasn't necessarily a problem for us. What is a problem is the damage to our name. You understand that they do not know yet that Volcom has been introduced and potentially a business of Oracle, but in order to wipe that slate clean with the enforcement and the cost to the city, they do hereby charge Volcom for those damages given the involvement. And you see kind of the teeth of the grit as there's a frustration that peels across the face of this high elf for the first time. Clause 2, a failure to pay the penalty is acquisitioned towards Grayskull services until the payment is made. As an undersigned agreement for opportunities given by the guild, the Grayskull services only charges the penalty for the valued amount of the service estimate provided by the operation leader, looking over at Captain Zero. And then he kind of speaks from him as a job is for a 1 to 2 week airship sentry duty. 1 registered member, 5 unregistered members. And I also did not take out my insurance, so my penalty towards you as well. You see, he kind of like stares down. Again, you have the right under Kingdom to appeal. It takes 1 to 2 cycles to see a hearing from that appeal, but that requires your residency, dedicated service position, and a claim to be submitted prior to then, Cornelian. But as of right now, you have been bound, and the clap happens once more. You feel a surge of energy kind of rush towards you as a magical, like, binding happens across your chest for a moment, and you just feel like a surge of, like, a heart pump just as you feel like a rush of energy. It stops for a moment, and you just breathe. And you kind of, like, breathe for a moment once more, and you kind of like feel like your hand where your chest was, where your heart was beating, and you don't feel your heart beating anymore, but you're still standing.
Cornelian will just look around with a frustrated but trying to keep an expressionless face.
It keeps a little. Make a deception check.
Oh boy. 16.
16. You bite your mouth together. It's painful, but it's also unnerving. You stop, look up, and you see the Haven whose like hands have clapped together. You see that there is like a swirl of green mist in the air as like there's some essence that has left the room. If you do wish to speak with Grayskull Services to start the process of paying off your debt, then that could be done and arranged with them from here on this point. You are released from Volcom underneath the penalty actions that you have been under, and we will be no longer doing business with you, Cornelian. Thank you for stopping by. And you see that the other wizards and mages who had like summoned the area kind of like return the terrain back to where it was. The people who were there kind of like cease to exist as walls are being built back upwards into this room. You surge once more. You see Captain Osira, who is now taking the steps forward towards you. He puts a hand on your shoulder for a moment. He's like, I did not expect any of this. I am so sorry. He walks past you. They kind of walk away from you, and everybody kind of leaves you in this room alone as you kind of just stand there and you just don't feel your heartbeat anymore, and you're just like still feeling for something, and it's just not there. You have a little bit of a panic start to raise in you, but it's held tight with your deception. You are under a bound contract with Graceful Services now, until that debt is paid, of 3,600 gold. And you just kind of like sit there and mull for a second as you kind of like think about how you're going to pay that off or what that means. And with that flashback, we return back to the Autumn Path where you sit outside of your encampment. There's a fire crackling, and your friends who you have just met today have no clue of the things that you have encountered. All they know is that you have been quiet and unable to speak about these matters because you worry about them doing something or maybe making the situation worse. Now that you're out of the city far enough, you feel that confidence in maybe sharing with them. However, I will say that your step away at this point, away from the group, is met with that same shadowy feeling of something beside you, the echo that kind of follows you around. You turn your head and look for a second to see if it's there, and it's no longer there, and it's just There's no beat of the heart. There's no feeling towards it.
With this contract that I'm bound towards, how bound are we talking?
You can make a history check if you like.
Okay.
Your knowledge about it would be the equivalent of the knowledge you may have put into signing a contract with Fullcom, which may have been none.
15.
15. Graveskull Services is a life contract. It is if you don't pay your cost, you owe the fee until death. And if you do not pay it, they will reap that money from you in your death.
Do I have my heartbeat right now?
You kind of feel again once more, you don't feel anything. You're alive, you're breathing. You just don't feel ownership.
Okay.
So you kind of sit there baffled and a bit confused, but you are away from the group. You took a step away after some conversation about death and families, and you are shooken by the words and also swiftly reminded of your events of today. You can rejoin the group whenever you wish, but you are currently stepped away.
I'll take my time kind of thinking about it more. Is everyone asleep or
No, everybody's still awake and kind of just conversing around the fire. I'm actually going to bring them back into the scene. I would say after looking and checking like back onto them, you would see that they still are having their conversations.
And then there was this like really super hot guy, right? And I walked up to him, I spoke to him. I stroll up to him, I'm like, oh my gosh, hello, what's your name? What's your number? What kind of things do you get into? And he was like a cardboard box, like he didn't speak back.
You know, I hate when they're dry like that. I can't stand it.
It's so annoying. It's
It
pointless.
is.
Why
It is
all those
pointless.
looks? Why all those looks just to not say anything? It makes no
And
sense.
you're just standing there and you're thinking, oh well, maybe maybe they'll give a conversation and they're dry. I hate it.
Nervous.
Are you nervous?
No.
Well,
Do I make you nervous, Mimosa?
No.
Oh. Okay.
all I'm saying is for them to be nervous, they could just say it and then you can ease into the conversation. But when someone's just dry, and I mean drier than the desert, I can't stand it.
Yes.
Because then you're sitting there and you're like, oh, what do you like to do? And they're like, I like to hunt. I'm like, okay, what do you like to hunt? Animals. All right. Wonderful. What do I get with that? What do I get with that? Nowhere. I go, I can do flips in the air. And they go, cool. Cool. That's it.
Moral of the story, looks are not everything, guys. Gotta have personality.
A lot of that resonates with the group as everybody kind of like stares and nods for a moment, just staring downwards and looking at the flames crackling on the fire. You guys are camping basically for the first time for some of you. This is not one of your first nights on the side of a road or on a place where you're taking a rest, but for being around each other, it is. And there's a little bit of nerves. The night grows later and later. Carnelian still has not returned back to the group. Father Cruz, you walked over earlier to talk and console with them, but they had not returned yet. But all of you are gathered together, and the night is growing later. Some of you are growing tired.
And so, oh my gosh, excuse me. Today's been a lot.
Yeah. We should probably, like, head to bed. Get ready for the night. Set up watches for sure. I don't really trust, like...
Oh, certainly not in this area, no. Yeah. Speaking of which, is Carnelian still out?
Carnelian walked off, but haven't seen them.
Hmm. Oh, I thought you went to talk to them. Was he kind of not really wanting to speak?
No, so I let him do it.
Hmm.
Cornelian, you can return whenever you like. You can just interject whenever you are ready. But as the rest of the night goes, is there someone who's going to be taking the first watch, so to say?
Me, Velu will.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Velu will because he's reading his book.
For those of
Trying to
you
learn
who
language.
are taking their rest, you may do so, or you may finish whatever your last moments of conversation are, and then tuck in.
I'll take first watch, Velu says, while he's like reading his book.
I'll walk over to Velu
I'll
before
join you, Velu.
before heading to bed, and I'll take out one of my scrolls that I took, and I'll tap him on the shoulder.
Yes.
I'll admit I was like pretty nasty to you earlier today, but like I also stand with what I say, but I'm also kind of like a people pleaser, so I feel really bad for saying what I said with my tone of voice. I got these scrolls, and I know how much you like magic, and you can use them to make like spells with them. So I'm gonna give you one, just singular, and let me know if you need any more.
Okay, thank you. And it's okay. About earlier.
Cool. Good night.
Vilu
Good night.
tucks to their bedroll and finds a place to get comfy.
You gave me a squirrel?
Yeah. It's an
Just a
empty
normal
scroll.
squirrel?
Yeah, you can add
Empty scroll.
one. It's an empty scroll. Yeah, there's no spell on it. It's a blank sheet.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Mimosa's gonna add more logs to the fire before he goes to bed.
A roaring flame kind of burns as the oxygen increases, and the holes from the dry lumber just make a fire that's more dangerous than probably most fires.
Before he goes to bed, he's gonna look at Milu and say, I need you to keep this fire going. I'm willing to take second shift, but just don't let the fire die out, okay?
Sure, I won't.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, son. Good night, Dad.
Idris is gonna walk past both of them and give them a thumbs up and go, "You got this. Wake me up whenever you're done."
You wanna be
Okay.
second, third?
I want second.
I'll do second. Oh.
Oh,
No, I want second with you.
what
Okay.
the? Well, more baby sleep for me, I guess. I'm not much of an early riser, though. Oh well.
You find a moment to rest your eyes, Idris, focusing on the days ahead and the another adventure in front of you with a bit of mystery beyond it. What's left is Father Cruz and Velu, along with Carnelian somewhere. Both.
I want Cornelian to read his letter.
Oh yeah, the sending roll. You open it up, and it's from Volcom. It mentions you to come to the guild hall. It says that you have been summoned by the leader of the guild. That is going to be Volacross. The person that you must have probably spoken to in the in your memory. And it says under the jurisdiction of the city of Oracle, you are charged under clause 2 and clause 26 of your contract. You must, under this advisement, your penalty is due at time of penalization. And at the bottom, it lists out your valued amount that you are owed.
Okay. I'll tuck it away.
It's actually an itemized bill too, so like it's full. You see the total estimated cost, which is still 62,000 plus gold. So you dodged a huge bullet, but it's still a lot of money to owe.
Right. Cornelia will tuck the ticket away and then kind of walk back to the group, but like I guess being sneaky about it.
Yeah, it's easy to do as you see Father Cruz and Velu, who have basically taken the first perceptive watch, can go ahead and make their perception checks to see if they catch you sneaking up.
Can I stealth?
Yeah, make a stealth. That's what I was just about to ask.
Ah, goddammit.
Perception.
Oh my god. 23.
That's a large perception.
Definitely see me.
18.
And an 18. The question is, do both of them see you?
Yep.
Your attempt to sneak back is broken by a twig snap and a stutter of leaves as Father Cruz and Velo, you turn your heads and see approaching back to the camp is Carnelian.
Welcome back.
Cornelia would walk over to a tree that's a little distance, but where he can see everybody else and just sit there.
You're not gonna go to sleep.
First watch. You can go to sleep.
Valu's looking at Carnelian.
Cornelian's ignoring them.
You both can make insight checks if you like.
Yes.
Yeah, that is.
An elusive character, this one. You still are deciphering them as you come to learn of them.
Do I roll anything for that or not?
23.
Okay. And for Velu?
No, 10.
10. No, Dion, you just tell me what Carnelian would share, based upon the idea that Father Cruz has a pretty good insight towards your feelings and behavior. Velu, not so much. Velu is more focused on your distance more than your actual characterization. But Father Cruz is a person of many people and understanding. So they do manage to gleam off whatever emotion you're trying to pass along. How about you go ahead and explain Carnelian's demeanor right now and if it's hostile or what's going on?
Cornelian's just sitting his back against the tree. His posture's pretty good against the tree, even though it's like curved. And he'll have a gun in his right hand, and then his other hand he'll raise up his basically bandana over his mouth and nose to cover his face some, and kind of like look up and then look back down at the ground, just thinking, and then with his feet kind of closer to his chest, but not balled up.
I guess
Keeping the gun next to him, not laying on the ground, but just in his hand beside him.
The gleam that Father Cruz demands of by just his presence alone, he can see kind of right through you, Cornelian, and you feel seen. Father Cruz, you detect somebody who has relived something and is dealing with whether it be something recent or something in the past. It may be a mix of both. This person is just troubled, but you're not sure if they're seeking help.
Cruz will just give Carnelian like a nod of understanding and turn back to the fire since he can't force friendship. He's only known Carnelian for like 2 days. So he wouldn't pay any mind to Carnelian being closed off.
Yeah. And you just kind of rest there, kind of feeling a little bit heard, which is nice. As you continue to be in your thoughts. I don't know if you doze off at L or anything like that. Just let me know.
Off the nod, Cornelia would visibly get a little more comfortable, loosen the grip on his gun, kind of lower his legs, and start to fall asleep.
Okay.
Laying on the tree.
Carnelian would fall asleep, and now it's left with you two. With your perceptive checks, other than just what's happened, go ahead, Velo.
Oh, I was just gonna say Belu wouldn't. Like you said that Belu notices about the distance.
Your only real concern with like understanding of Carnelian is that he has taken a little bit of distance away from the group, and from your insight that you had gathered, you just feel as though he's uncomfortable around you.
Oh, okay. Belu just goes back to reading his book.
Mm-hmm. And then Father Cruz had made statements about friendship and trust, and you kind of just sheen that thing off as you kind of still peer into your novel, your lexicon. Both you sit with the fire and your active perception. You have any moments to share here before your next watch?
Belu's still gonna read his book.
Mm-hmm.
So Velu, you have any plans for your future?
Belu stops and looks at Father Cruz. No, not really. I just go where the wind goes, and I just want to explore. That's it.
It's a good outlook to have.
Yep.
So what brought you to Oracle?
Oh, as I said, exploration. I just want to explore, but I need money, so I needed a job.
So
How about yourself?
why I'm at Oracle or in general?
Yeah, why are you at Oracle?
I was with my son going on a missionary trip.
Oh, okay.
Went
pretty well.
I would like something here. I need both of you to make some charisma checks.
My God.
Just a straight charisma roll for both of you.
Oh my God, 10.
My God, is that?
Not this. This is kind of a
Less?
spur of the moment thing.
16.
16. Father Cruz, Velu, you don't bond as well as you think as far as like the topic conversations go, but as soon as the thought is brought up of like your origins and the reasonings for showing up in a place, your stories start to intertwine with this weird pattern. Something that both of you recognize as far as your own stories are crafted and weaved. You both gain a recognition of familiarity for people who are not necessarily being forthcoming about their purposes. Father Cruz, you know that you deal in truths. And Velu, you know that you deal in truths as well. Both of you are able to easily understand when someone is not telling a full story. And both of you understand this in this moment, as both of you kind of like start going off about the easy part of the conversation, which is, yeah, we came for money, or yeah, we came for a mission. Those aren't the answers that you know are underlying to the purposes of showing up. You both take in this moment of like conversation to reveal that there is hidden things amongst you, and maybe you're ready to push on that or maybe not, but you both are very familiar with the idea of somebody not necessarily letting on everything.
So you said you were here for a mission with your son?
Missionary.
Oh, missionary. Okay. So are you gonna go to other parts of the continent?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing for years. Traveling around. So
Okay.
going to Halavar doesn't really seem like a...
Have you been there before?
I'm from Halavar.
Oh yeah, I forgot. My bad. Completely slipped my mind. I've been reading this book way too much, and I'm just like super focused into this book.
I mean,
Kind of forgot.
probably a really good book. So what about you? Where do you come from?
Come from?
Yeah, are you from Oracle? I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
said you
am.
came for... Oh,
I just don't remember which part. If that makes sense. because
Ah,
things.
Bit of
came
a
from Oracle, left, and then came back. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
the pieces of the puzzle sometimes don't line up, and it's okay. As the moment of breath kind of leaves that moment, Will, you return to that book. Father Cruz, you look down at a novel of words that you don't understand.
Can't
Um,
read.
just something you're unfamiliar with. And Velu, you're very unfamiliar as well, but you've been piecing it together little by little. Your progress on this has gone significantly higher in the last few months. You feel rather close to potentially learning a new language. However, you haven't had it in practice yet. So there's a bit of like frustration as you kind of like can't really focus on the words because there's a little bit of conversation happening for the first time in a while. You will end up closing the book, looking around the area, and your perception captures some movement beyond.
Father Cruz, he would whisper. There's
Yes.
some movement, and he would point to where the movement is.
Emerging from the bushes and the wheat, the kind of like grassy yellowed grass around you all, you guys see Bongo, who just kind of emerges from the blades of grass and just kind of
Cruz will try to usher Bongo over and point at Ymir.
make an animal handling check.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to persuade it.
This
Can't
is
just
this
let
is
me
animal handling. I'm sorry.
persuade.
Can I help?
You can.
Well, I mean, like, I'm trying to
Since-
figure out, because I get persuasion with, or advantage with persuading things.
This is not really a persuasion. This is more of a command.
I'm helping since Bongo kind of knows.
Yes.
I think he would know kind of more familiar with
Guidance.
me.
21.
21.
Thank God.
And ushering over as Bongo has something like in their arms, and they kind of put it into your hand, Father Cruz. It looks like they killed a frog, and they have a dead frog, and they just kind of put it down in your hands, and they just kind of pick their nose.
Just pet Bongo's head.
Just kind of
Good job.
purrs a little bit in a way, coos, and just rushes over back to Ymir's like presence and just like cuddles immediately into Ymir. Ymir is like sleeping in the most awkward position possible, and Bongo just immediately just finds a spot and settles in, and you see a smile curl upon Ymir's face as that happens.
That's sweet. Can Cruz
Well-
cook the frog?
You can just throw it into the fire, definitely.
Oh, I meant like eat it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean you can stab, you can do whatever. Yeah.
Have you ever had frog before, though?
No, but if you're gonna cook a frog, let me go get some more sticks so the fire doesn't go out. So Mimosa doesn't. I don't know what's going on with Mimosa, but he told me to make sure the fire doesn't go out. So I'm gonna grab some sticks.
He just doesn't do well in the dark.
I wonder why.
Both of you stare at
I was
Mimosa on the ground, just like heavy breathing, nothing else.
Cruz will just shrug.
Melu's gonna start getting some sticks.
Yeah, you collect some.
make sure.
It's not too hard. There's no survival for that required. There's a lot here. You kind of pick everything up once in a while, and are you going to return back quickly, or are you trying to get a space away?
Return back quickly.
Yeah, you return back and kind of add the sticks to the fire. Father Cruz, you've cooked this thing through, and it's ready for your own serving.
I'll give it. I don't know. I'll like cut it in half. More like tear it in half.
Yeah.
So hand it to Melly.
You hand it over. Both of you share a meal to one another.
Cheers.
I take some,
Yeah.
and I eat it.
Doesn't taste bad. It's gamey, but you know what isn't. Also not sure how long it's been dead. Don't know if Bongo killed it or if it was already dead, but you found it, so I mean it worked out.
This would be such a waste to let this creature die and not give it use.
Well,
Yeah.
we ate it, so
you guys start to approach the end of your watch.
I guess Cruz is gonna pray before he wakes up. Mimosa in your mirror.
Any specific thoughts as your prayer rests on heavy shoulders?
Just for hoping of a safe journey.
Just go ahead and make a religion check for me.
Guidance.
Sure. Your prayer falls through on an open wind of the breeze of wind as you feel the comfort of something hearing you, but not necessarily responding back. But it is a good feeling nonetheless, and you feel confident in your journey ahead.
Was heard. You hear that? I was heard.
A tear falls down Father Cruz's eye, fellows. You see, like, they look up into the sky, and you're not sure why they're crying all of a sudden.
did you wait? Out of did you do like a did you do like the pray thingy while you were praying?
What's a
Fuck.
prank thingy?
No, out of character. Like, did you do like something while you were praying?
No, I just prayed.
You just prayed in your mind?
Just prayed.
Okay. 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 So Belu's gonna ask Father Cruz, why are you crying?
I was heard by my God.
Oh.
I just know I was.
Oh. Okay. All power to you.
I could see the
Father.
finger guns already from it's like showing up.
Yes.
You two awaken the next for the shift. Who are you awaking?
Almost in your mirror.
All right.
I'll wake up your mirror. Belu's gonna walk over to your mirror. Wakey wakey. Eggs and motherfucking bakey.
Arise, Mimosa.
Both you are awake.
Oh.
Your mirror's not awake. Wakey wakey, your mirror.
He's heavy. He's a heavy sleeper. You knew this. Start kicking.
Don't make me shock you. I don't think he's here.
Hi.
Yeah. he he wakes
I'm
up.
waking
Hi.
you up. Are you waking up or are you not waking
Yeah,
up?
Ymir will stir awake and look at View and he's like, oh my gosh.
It's your time. It's your watch.
Am I still dreaming?
No, also Bongo is like here, next to you. He came.
Yeah, where else would he be?
He came. Anyways, he came and he killed a frog and he gave it to Father Cruz and we ate it, and it was
Oh.
okay.
Did you save me any?
Good job, Bongo.
Bongo is still asleep.
We did
Belu
it,
looks at
Mimosa.
Father Cruz,
Next time.
Next time, I'll remember.
but I did keep the fire, so
Thank you, brother.
I'm gonna go to sleep now. Good night.
Good night.
He sleeps.
Sleep. And then Father Cruz.
Good night.
The first thing Mimosa's gonna do is add a little bit more wood to the fire.
Ymir's gonna sit crisscross applesauce.
Yeah.
Just kind of humming to himself, rocking side to side.
It's one of your first times probably trusting the people around you for both of you. Not your first time keeping watches, of course, but new company.
So, like, Mimosa,
Hmm.
do you see, like, you seem the most. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I resonate with you the most out of everybody in the group.
Why? I thought you and Idris were having a little special thing going on.
Idris is a
Of
sweet.
cooking.
I love Idris, but real talk, I don't know, because I saw you fight. It was
Yeah.
just with you. And so, is it normal that when you get mad, all the candles go out and like black ichor starts protruding from your sweat. Like, what's that?
It's just a thing that happens. So, like, magic. Weird.
Okay, but with the information that we got like earlier today,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that gives off, and you don't like the darkness or whatever. And like from everything that we learned, one could say, would that not
Say what?
one could say that's like light devourer level details. No?
I don't know what you're going on about.
Is there like okay.
There's nothing you should be concerning yourself over.
Both
End of
you need to
discussion.
make charisma checks for me.
Okay.
Pulling out the sheet. We got a nice +0.
Nice.
7.
Nice.
Cool. 22. I was just waiting.
That's awesome. Both of you, again, a unique bond of two individuals who have shown each other their prowess in combat, of the only people in the group to do so far, just to show and work together in that same unity. Even with that unity, there's a bit of divide, Ymir, and you can't help but feel there's a lot of just unwillingness to cooperate on Mimosa's side. And you're not sure if it's because of you or if it's because of maybe you said something, but you do take to heart a little bit of the moment of like, you have nothing to worry about. You remember some words being shared like that to you before from old friends of your past. The unfortunate thing, Mimosa, is that you're not sure if your mirror is being mean to you or not with your charisma check. Your charisma would have been able to identify whether or not he was being insulting to you or not. And based upon your score there, you kind of feel a little bit intruded into. And you're not sure if that's a diss at you or maybe, but you can only assume it's not, given that you know that the conversation would be held rather short if this person was trying to engage you at this moment. But it does make you a little bit cautious.
Yeah, Mimosa's gonna turn away a little bit and just like poke at the fire with a stick.
Hey, no, okay, I'm sorry. I feel as though I worded it like terribly. I'm not like worried, to be clear.
And why are you
I
asking?
I started this conversation stating that we are similar. I was just you seem as though there's something within you that you're trying to keep away. I also have stuff within me that I don't really me personally I'm kind of like besties with. I was just Ymir like stumbles and tries to set him back straight and he's like sits up. I just thought that
What?
it was someone who understood a little bit, and like I'm sorry that I came off super strong. That wasn't my intention.
Mimosa's gonna stare at him for like a moment and then just sigh, nod his head, and look back at the fire. You're okay.
Both of you make perception checks for me.
Okay, give me a second.
These are for your watches.
5.
Oh,
Makes sense.
jeez, bro. "22.
Where it comes the opposite perspective, Ymir, when you can't help but feel as though you may have taken a step too far, you hyper focus on those moments and you're more engaged with the conversation of Mimosa than you are about the surroundings. But Mimosa, being able to distance yourself from people has always made you the most perceptive eye. You keep your eyes open and wide around the fires, knowing the dangers that lurk around you in the dark. Continue.
Ymir's just kind of like running his hands through his hair nervously. Do you like have any like dreams or aspirations?
Dreams? And I don't try to dream too big on anything.
Is it because like most people who like don't have too many big dreams, I feel like they have a tendency of thinking that they're gonna like die soon or something. But I know like you don't want to die soon because like people who fight as like really well as you do kind of choose when they die. Does that make any sense? Like you're strong.
I understand.
So why not have dream?
I have my reasons.
Fair enough.
The crackling of the fire kind of grows brighter as Mimosa, playing around with the oxygen of it all, keeps it brightly aflame. Staring into a wide fire sometimes flashes both of you into scenes of your own past. The warmth is also kind of a curse for some of the memories that follow. Both you feel tension in the air between the two of you, just given the circumstances of being alone with one another. Though Ymir, you feel that confidence in someone you trust, and Mimosa, you feel confidence in someone you can trust as well. There's a bit of teetering as you guys believe that you do not have the same stories. Your trusty familiar Ymir Bongo runs up once more, kind of awakening for a moment. You see flying across, they seem to fly over to one of the nearby trees and grab onto something, and you just hear kind of like a
What do you have over there?
flies back down. You see that they've grabbed like a small bird and just like broken its neck and brought it back to you, Ymir.
Jesus Christ. How do you even do these things?
They bite into it.
Do you want a bit of bird mimosa?
Man, that thing's so small. I don't.
You see that?
It's just like a bite.
See that Bongo like holds it close to them and kind of like hisses at Mimosa.
Bongo, sharing is caring.
He can have it.
Do you want me to cook up one of your steaks that you got?
Nah, if you cook anything now, just smell my wick somebody.
That's fair.
Also, the smell can lure people to our campfire.
That's true. But honestly, I kind of like drama. So like I'm so down with like people
Maybe not
coming
at
by.
night.
Fair. Oh, I just remembered. I don't think I like properly thanked you for like saving my life yesterday. Was it yesterday?
It's today.
Day. Yeah.
Well, probably going.
And-
You guys are like, wouldn't be last night, but it'd be like you guys are traveling. Oh no, you guys did take a little bit of a rest. So yeah, it was last night. Sorry.
And I'm not. I don't know. I'm sorry that you had to do that.
Why?
Next
You
time-
don't have
next
to be
time I'll-
sorry for that. I mean, I'm just doing what anybody would do.
Yeah, but it's just like I just assumed that you and your father had to do a whole bunch, and I know that Hannah was also down at the same time, so I would just assume that it was a bit of a situation, me being down as well.
Nah, we handle it fine.
All I'm saying is, I owe you one, and I got your back. Like, whenever you need it. Because, have you ever heard of the law of equivalent exchange?
No.
It's like the main rule of alchemy. I feel as though what you give is what you receive. You give me life. You need to receive life in some way, shape, or form. So
Some of that
I guess
resonates with you, Mimosa. You feel a little bit more of a closer connection.
So
That sounds nice and all, Ymir, but if I do ever get down, I don't expect you to try to carry me anywhere.
oh no. Yeah, no, I'm not doing all that. But whoever got you down will like probably get destroyed by me in turn. And
I mean, I guess that's the
find
least
that
I can
okay.
ask for.
Yeah.
Some nods of affirmation as some connection has been made now, and you guys are nearing the end of your watch. You guys do actually see Carnelian and Idris, both who are basically your next to wake up. You see Carnelian for the first time, just kind of leaned against a tree and he's just passed out. Your active perception mostly caught him earlier in the night, but you didn't make any thought of it.
He even sleeps cool. I just don't get that. How can one person just be so gosh darn cool? And he's a cat. This doesn't even make any sense.
I wouldn't say much as cool, just more like troubled.
Well, isn't everybody troubled?
Yeah. He's more closed off about it than anybody else here.
You'd be surprised. We should probably wake them up, though.
Each approach who you're willing to wake up.
I'm gonna wake up Idris.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, please. Because I feel like if I tap him on the shoulder, he's gonna shoot me, and I don't want to get shot.
What, you want me to get shot instead? Why
You
don't
can
you
take a bullet. You can definitely take a bullet.
I like how Ymir's whole conversation before was, I'd do anything for you. And then all of a sudden, it's like, but wait. Wait a minute.
Like, let's be realistic here. You can take one. I cannot take a bullet. Fine, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it.
Just throw a pebble at him.
That's worse.
I have Bongo tap him on the shoulder.
And the thing is, I'll throw the pebble and I'll miss.
Roger, aren't you like do magic? Can you do like little magic hand things?
Oh, you're right. Oh my gosh, good idea. Ymir's gonna snap his fingers and a little white mage hand is gonna fly over and tap Carnelian on the shoulder from like, what's the max range of mage hand?
Pretty sure it's 20
30 feet.
30 feet?
It's 30 feet away. As far as possible.
It's not even that far away. You have to step away from the fire, going further away from the camp area to tap Cornelia to show her at the max length. You have to walk away in order to tap him from max length. Or Cornelian, how do you wake up being tapped on the shoulder? Realizing you dozed off. Or Idris, on the other hand, you're also awakened by Mimosa.
I'm gonna be trying to like tickle her on her nose. Like crouch down.
Idris is gonna sit up and smack her head into Mimosa's.
Bonk.
Ow! Ow! Why would you do that?
Why did you wake up so hard?
I was dreaming, and I was in the middle of a good part, and well, here I am. What is Ymir doing?
Oh, he's waking up, you little cute thing.
You could just call his name, you know.
Oh, I think that was a little funny.
He'll kill me.
Carnelian,
He won't
you
kill
awaken to a small tap on your shoulder after dozing off. How do you react?
He will jolt back up.
Yeah. Sure enough.
Hit the tree once more.
So sure enough, you see the immediate like hesitation and like stare around. You don't see anybody next to you, Cornelian. There's just a white floating hand that's tapping on the shoulder, and you see in the distance Ymir, who's currently holding out their hand in focus over and just like with eyebrows raised and like kind of looking with one eye towards you.
I'll make the connection looking at the hand and looking at Ymir, and then standing up.
It wasn't me. Who
The
did
hand,
that?
the hand completely vanishes.
Oh god. I'll walk closer to the fire.
Cornelia would join sitting near the fire.
Idris is gonna get a pat both Ymir and Mimosa on the shoulder and walk on over back to the fire. Well, good night, you guys.
Good night. Oh, wait, you just keep the fire alive.
Oh, sure, of course.
Thanks.
Yeah, and as
Okay.
as Mimosa is saying that, they're holding a lantern, a wand of light, like it's like they're carrying all these assortments of like bright things around them.
Good night, the two of you. Be very safe and find nothing wrong in the forest, please. Bye bye.
Both of you turn
Did
in.
we just get jinxed?
Mm.
Oh,
And
I
you
guess
two,
we'll see.
you two are left to a watch, and ironically, this isn't your first one together. This is one of many you have already shared. Reminiscing in some of the times where you guys have been camped out before going on some of your historical adventures together. So this is not necessarily a new feeling. This is nostalgic for two of you. You get a little bit of comfort in that, Cornelian, and also to Idris, a friend that you haven't seen in a while. The fire crackles as you bring back some more tinders for it to rise higher as the request of mimosas is heard loud and clear. But the both of you share the space in your perceptive checks of the night. So go ahead and roll perception.
And
No. 8.
You guys do actually see something in your perceptive checks. It's not a bad thing. You do see, you're not too far away from where the trail is that you were traveling, but you do see kind of a racing cart that is fastly moving. Like it kind of crosses your areas and moves past. There's no people who jump off of it or anything like that. It's just something rushing, and all you can hear is just kind of laughter, like and just it passes. That's it.
That was a
can I
bit
take like
ominous.
note of the cart as it passes?
It doesn't have much detail other than kind of being similar to like it was horse drawn, so there was horses and there was maybe like 5 or 6 individuals on the cart, but you hear like hearty laughter and like there is something going on.
What direction were they heading in?
They're heading towards they're heading south. But from where you guys may be taking your next turn, you guys may be heading the opposite way. So you don't know. It kind of goes down the trail a little bit until the noise vanishes. You don't know if they're going to be on the same trail as you later on, or if they're going in a different way. But they were traveling in the same direction that you were traveling previously.
Got it.
So something. But they're long gone in the distance now.
So, how was your trip?
Cornelian would kind of just shrug, look down at the fire, watch the fire a little bit.
Not that good, huh?
No, not really.
I'm sorry. It's never good.
No.
Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to just sit here and play a game? What can I do?
Do you have any rations on me, Jacob?
Yeah, you guys get your starting rations, so there's some on you.
All right. Cornelian would Are we on like stumps, logs?
Whatever you want to
ground?
be. You guys
Okay,
have you
I'd
guys have
say-
made your camp the way it is.
I'd say we're on some stumps, and then Cornelius will get off his stump and kind of like put some rations out on his little stump in front of him, and like look over to Idris.
Idris is gonna clap her hands, and she's gonna kind of follow suit, taking whatever like leftover rations she has,
Hmm.
and lay hers out the same way.
All right. Which game do you want to lose on this time?
First of all, I was not a loser. You were most of the time.
I let you win.
No, you did not. You would throw a tantrum every single time you lost.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You
but
don't
it
know what I'm
sounds
talking
like,
about.
It sounds like rock, paper, scissors is what you want to lose on.
There's, you know what, you won. And when I win, I get all your rations, or at least half of them,
All right.
just so I can win against you again.
If
We'll
you-
do all. We'll do all.
Oh, you want winner takes all? All right.
Best of 3, winner takes all.
Best, sure.
Okay. You guys understand how rock paper scissors works in this game, or no?
No, no.
Do we have to roll it or what?
There's rolls. It's a d20 roll. However, your modifiers that you add are not pertinent to anything. Your intuitions is really what you're doing. You can use any wisdom-based roll or intelligence-based roll to attempt to assist you in your persuade. Like, for example, if you wanted to use insight to kind of guess what they were going to be throwing out there to throw your own thing out there, you could. Or you can use an intelligence-based roll just as knowledge of the game from just history saying, oh, well, most people will do this, so I do this. However, I will say for this, you're only going to use the bonus from the skill, the ability itself. It's going to be no proficiencies on this. It's just the bonus from wisdom or intelligence, and that's all you can use.
Okay.
So,
I'll use my wisdom.
okay.
I'll also use my wisdom.
Yeah, both
Okay.
you use your wisdom. Go ahead and just roll a d20 and add your wisdom modifiers.
14.
Mm. 18.
No.
As the rock paper scissors, the Rochambeau commences, Cornelian, you saw it with a solid scissors, knowing that Idris every single time has always chosen paper because they think you choose rock. And like you went through the convoluted moment in your mind, and Idris, you smile because you remember that Carnelian has a tell. And you know that he kind of does the figure in his hands below him before he knows what he's going to do. So you see him like shaping scissors in his hands and then curling them back to a fist before he does a rock paper scissors with you. So you catch it, and then once you show, you throw a rock, and Carnelian, you're just shocked.
You get 1. There's 2 more.
Ah,
Now
I was about to say, what were you saying again? How you let me win? Is that right?
It's fine
Now-
until you lose twice.
let me explain something to you. This is a game where you can cause disadvantage to another person as well, or advantage to another person. But the way that was saying, "Oh, I let you win," you can help somebody in that same fashion. If you want to give disadvantage to somebody, you're going to be making deception rolls. The deception DC is basically based upon the last roll that you have made. So an 18 DC and a 14 DC for your deceptions. So if you do want to
just roll.
give someone a deception, you can. And
I'm
basically,
good.
you
I'll
make
just
it
roll wisdom
easier.
again.
No, we're kind of honest here sometimes.
If you're trying.
Sometimes.
But go ahead,
Wisdom.
try again.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I got a 19.
Oh, I've lost by 1. I got another 18.
All right. As the Rochambeau happens, Cornelian, you catch the eyes of Idris looking down at your hand, and like for once in your whole entire life, you realize what you've been doing for like all of these times you played this game, and you never noticed that you've done it before, and now you've noticed, and now you're using it as your advantage. So you throw it down a rock in your hand, and you fake it. And as it just goes to throw down paper to cover you again, you throw scissors at the last moment.
Mm.
Hey, you were cheating. You knew you
We
had to
know it was
tell.
cheating.
You were cheating. Of course you were. You changed at the
You're
very
sh-
last second.
You're peeking. That's what you're doing.
I was not. You were peak. You know
And
what?
you didn't want to tell me all these
You
times.
know. Hey, it's not
I
my
can still
fault. You
lose
had.
sometime.
I let you win.
Mm-hmm. Cornelio will ready his fist. I'm gonna throw it
Yeah,
again.
third round.
Rochambeau.
Go for it.
15.
16.
God.
The moment where you have tells, both of you kind of hold your hands up together. Well, this is actually like a mental strain for both of you, because both of you are still now looking again for a way to like one up the person in front of you, and this has turned from friendly family game to really intense, like, okay. And as it always does, Cornelian, you find yourself at matches with somebody who plays games for a long time. You have a resonation of remembering good times in that moment, and you happiness draws over you in remembering some of the nights and long nights you played before meeting in these moments. And I think it's because of that you kind of fall back into your autopilot and do the same exact tell all over again. And Idris, it's eating cake, it's not that difficult. And you have to do it. It's like he's doing it, and you have to punish it. So naturally enough, you throw paper out, he throws rock, and game's over.
Idris is gonna blow on her hand and go, now what was that about letting me win?
Cornelius gonna put his hands over his head.
I think the
He's gonna
worst part,
stand
Cornelian, is
up.
that you realize you did it again.
He's gonna walk. He's gonna walk around the fire.
Meanwhile, Idris is like collecting his little rations with a little hop in her step as she's picking up the rations.
You really needed that win. The both of you make charisma checks for me with advantage.
Oh boy.
Not good.
7.
A 9.
What? Okay. As the happiness kind of subsides, Idris, you have this cockiness to you that wasn't apparent to the previous times you've met. And Cornelian, you've had a lot of history going on today that kind of brings you back to reality, as you've now taken a second loss today. The fun time ends in a weird collision of Idris and Cornelian, you both kind of just stopping and pausing and realizing that both of you have changed drastically. There's a kind of a reflection of one another that you feel as though has been lost over time. You don't know if it's the betrayals that you guys have had in your past, or maybe it's something recent, but something's off, and you guys feel off kilter to what your usual demeanors used to be together. Even in this playing of this game, you guys have learned a little bit about each other.
Cornelia would go to sit back down after it just cleans off the food that she won. And then he'd pull out a crumbled piece of paper from his back pocket and kind of hold it for a second.
Idris walks back over and she hands back his rations and she goes, I wasn't gonna, take them. They're your
No.
food.
You won. You won it.
Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Eat it.
I'll eat it later.
Shh, man.
Puts it away.
First you go take off and you're all mysterious, and you come back and you're even more mysterious, and here we are playing this game. I win your food as usual, and now I'm offering your food back and you're declining it.
No, you won the food. It's yours, really. He
What?
tossed the paper into the fire.
Catches cinder.
What did you just do that? What was that?
Oh, it was a letter. Doesn't really matter.
From who?
My guild.
Oh, Oh. Oh, right. The one with the bad news, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Give me a second. Idris is gonna run over to where she had set her bag down,
Mm-hmm.
and she's gonna scavenge around for a second and whip out that scroll that Laurent had written.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna run back over and she's gonna hand it over to him.
Uh,
I
what
don't
is
know.
it?
I don't know if you got a second to read this when you came back yesterday, but Laurent, he gave us all things, and this is one of the letters he wrote for you.
Yeah, you haven't Cornelian, you really haven't taken back like what has gone on like with the group for a bit. You read this letter and it looks for your hobbies, and it signs Laurent and Leonin. You kind of like raise your eyebrow a little bit, and attached to the note, you see that there's a piece of gemstone attached to it. There's a purplish like imbued like rune or something like that that's here, and you're looking at it, and you have familiar with what this is. This is a silent shard. This is an attachment.
Oh. Am I able to attach it myself?
Yeah, you can spend your watch doing the rest of attaching it to one of your weapons.
Carnelian would take the note, read it, open it. Kind of like pause for a second as his eyebrows would raise, looking at the crystal that was attached to the note, and he'll get a little grin to it, and he'll look over towards Idris. Thank you.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, right. And she's also gonna whip out like a tiny little purse of the gold pieces, 100 of them to be exact, and hand them over to him. This was your payment as well for, retrieving his volume. So wanted to make sure you got that too.
His smile would frown, and he'd take the gold pieces and then start fiddling on his weapon.
And we're frowning. Why are we frowning? Isn't this good? You can. No.
It's gold.
Oh.
Thank you.
You shouldn't be thanking me. You should really be thanking my brother. But,
Yeah. Well, I will when I see him.
You mess with one of your weapons to attach the modification to.
Yes, I want the. What is the stats on that silencer thing?
I will send that to you.
To which one I want to attach it to.
You guys can continue conversation.
I mean, I guess Cornelia would fiddle with the gem and his guns, inspecting his guns, trying to figure out like, should I go on this one? Should I go on that one?
Idris is gonna watch like a curious cat would, and she's gonna go, "What exactly does it do?"
It makes my shots pretty much quiet when I'm shooting from afar.
That is so cool. I can't believe that you got that.
Yeah, it's actually really helpful for
You're gonna
one of my
be
weapons.
even deadlier than before. How incredible. What a menace you're gonna be.
Oh yeah. Cornelia will add it to his rune rifle.
Okay.
So he'll take out this great big kind of it's like an older style like actual rifle, but kind of polished to look brand new and almost plastic, with a bunch of different symbols kind of engraved and glowing onto it.
You understand that putting these places, like your understanding with weapons and ammunitions and stuff like that goes without reason that you know how to place this upon your weapon. The silence shard goes like directly imbued into like the muzzle of the weapon, and you start adhering it to the position where its modification would be. And after a little bit of time, like tools that you would use to put it together, your weapon is now modified.
Where would I add that on my sheet?
I'll help you with that outside, but we'll consider it
Okay.
as just accepted for your weapon ranges and everything that changes for the stats.
All right. Kind of hold it for a second, kind of post up with it, looking on either side, inspecting that he did everything right with it, putting his tools away, and then kind of looking down the scope to see if it's kind of off balanced it or anything.
Nah, it's perfectly balanced as always, and you are a person who takes care of everything. As you're aimed down the sight, you do adhere that there is now a small little purple glow at the end of your rune rifle that was not there before.
He'll set it down beside him, and just keep the note for a second before also crumbling it a little bit and throwing it into the fire.
Well, that's all for now, I suppose. What else is new with you?
I'm not a part of the guild anymore.
Their loss.
Yeah.
It's coming near the
That
end
was
of your
my
guys'
choice.
watch as well.
End the watch right now?
Yeah, you guys are nearing the end of your watch. You guys probably have enough, like another 30 minutes before everything's all kind of like done.
Oh, okay.
So if there is any other last moments that you want to share, you may.
Seeing Idris kind of really curious about my rifle, he'd pick it back up and look at her. Do you want to hold it?
You want me? You know, sure. Idris is gonna hold both of her hands out. She's gonna go, "What? Can you show me how to hold it? I've never actually shot before."
Cornelian unloads the gun.
Yeah, it's it's kind of funny because
Smart.
like Idris, you kind of give that like kind of eyebrow raise and like kind of both the hands out for like, you know, the assistants, like the help me person, and Carnelian without a fucking like beat, like not even like a breaking a sweat, pulls back like the what's it called, the release for the gun. You see ammunition magazine fly out. He catches it with one hand, like tosses it with his fingers, putting it into his side pouch. You see that he jams it back up, resetting the stock, and he's like doing like basically martial drill, like kind of handing it over to you. Intense.
Oh.
So, you have. Are you left or right-handed?
Left.
Left. Okay. Well, that makes it more difficult. Okay, hold it with your.
Is it because you're right-handed? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to be more right-handed. You know, it's really hard to write with your right hand when you're
Oh.
left-handed.
You don't need to do that.
Well, it's a skill I like to have.
Idris, make a dexterity check with advantage. Carnelian's helping you. Sleight of hand,
If it's not
actually.
my
It's
beat.
actually sleight of hand, specifically.
18.
Carnelian, in order to help Idris, you kind of have to like get up close with them, and you get to a point where you're kind of holding your arm around their shoulder and like putting their hand where your hand would be, and then you have like your left hand kind of like putting it towards the impact of the rune rifle and pushing it into their shoulder, kind of pushing it into them. But in doing so, you pull them a little bit tight to like kind of pull them towards you. A little tender. The Idris, you're uncomfortable holding such a interesting and also unfamiliar thing, but then again, you do feel that comfort in Carnelian kind of guiding you through it, and you do feel that resonation of like help. You kind of rest your cheek onto the sight, and you're kind of looking down the iron sight of this rifle, and Carnelian, you're giving instruction.
So, after you pull it close and you look at the sight to whatever you want to shoot at, don't aim it at people, but maybe a tree in the distance, and you just pull the trigger.
Like this, and she's gonna kind of demonstrate.
Pulls the trigger, and it like, you get. Carnelian, you see, you kind of have a moment of like panic because you realize like you didn't remember if there was a single in the chamber or not, and you're kind of having a moment of like, wait. I would say I'm gonna roll. Okay, that's funny.
Oh no.
Oh,
of
boy.
course.
Idris,
Oh,
you're trying
no.
to be cheeky, and you're trying to be a little coy and a little like, flagrant about it, and you're like this. You kind of turn and look at him, like to take your cheek off the sight and like kind of stare at him. You guys are like maybe like a few inches away from each other, and you pull the trigger, and you feel the most recoil that you've ever felt in your shoulder in your life. All of you awaken, as you realize, Carnelian, that there was a standard round still loaded into the gun, and all of you, the silence shard is on, but within 30 feet, it still makes noise. So all of you guys arise from your sleep in like action and ready to engage in combat potentially. As you guys see Carnelian and Idris, who are both kind of holding on to each other in like kind of like a cuddling type of way, where Carnelian's holding on to the back of Idris, and Idris is like holding the rune rifle and now has a shoulder that's been pushed all the way back, and Idris has kind of fallen swoon into Carnelian's arms while the rune rifle falls to the ground. All of you awaken to this.
Huh?
What God's name?
What the fuck is going on?
Cornelia's gonna help her stand up straight and then go for his gun.
Idris is gonna be cackling.
There's a lot of blush happening on Idris and Carnelian. Carnelian's not, it's a lot harder to see, but Idris, it's full red.
I'm so embarrassed.
What's going on?
Oh,
Mimosa has like his warhammer pulled
Yeah,
out and
full
everything.
full combat.
Demetri's just wiggling with his eyebrows. This is.
Cornelia will pick up the gun, dust it off, and inspect it to make sure it's not damaged.
It's good. You did lose one standard round though.
That's my fault. I did not load
I'm
it.
so sorry.
You took
I
the
did not-
magazine out. Like, you always have one in the chamber. You knew that.
Forgot to take it out of the chamber.
No, Idris is gonna look at her when that she had just awoken. She's go, "Oh my, I'm so sorry."
It is the end of your watch though.
Good morning.
Oh.
I didn't try
Good
hard enough.
morning.
Cornelia's gonna rack his weapon back onto his back. And then kind of just stare at everybody else.
We're gonna head and going to time skip a little bit. You guys managed to encamp yourselves back up, one after the other, waking up, setting up getting the camp back set up. Mimosa and Father Cruz putting away the ball and gloves that you had found previous and putting them somewhere for safekeeping. Mimosa probably in the bag of colding. The encampment set, Father Cruz, you set up your suitcase to kind of like open up and present the cart once more for your guys' travel. The travel to Halavar is a long journey. You guys are going to be having some downtime displayed in the next coming sessions potentially. However, there is an event that will be taking place basically on this day of your travel. So we may be getting to the point of doing some downtime on your travel to Halavar, depending on this event. So you guys begin your journey towards Halavar, getting to the city of Halo, the holy city. Father Cruz has shared a little bit of stories about their origin from being from there already to some of you. But most of you know Halavar as a religious sanctuary where people will go there to basically be protected and still believe in the old gods that were beyond the world itself, or maybe even some of the gods that are still remaining on the planet. It's a little niche for some of you, but for Father Cruz, it's close to home. The travel that you guys have made throughout most of the day gets abruptly stopped as Carnelian and Idris, you see a similar cart that you guys had seen that morning pulled over on the side of a town that you guys are now approaching, and you see that the cart is currently empty, but you see that the town is rent asunder in like fire and flame.
We'll immediately stop to the cart.
Are the horses with the cart?
No, it's just the cart.
Okay.
However,
Cornelia will take out his arcane flintlock and start investigating.
yeah, you guys are like stop and kind of take an investigation of the area. This town, I don't think any of you are familiar with it. Actually, Father Cruz, you might be. Go ahead and just make a history check for me. None of the rest of you, I don't think, would know.
But it's ten. Wait, no, 11.
11. The name escapes you, but you have been here before.
Chris will immediately go rush to help people.
There's no longer like open flame anywhere. It's just a lot of smoke. You notice that a couple of the buildings have been like that messed with and such like that. There's people who are around. You guys can maybe spot like 5, 10, like 50, maybe like 20 people around, just kind of like coughing and stuff like that. Father Cruz, you just rush out and just start helping people. Parnelian, you inspect the cart. Looking inside,
I want to look for those people, actually.
Yeah. As you kind of look around the cart area, you don't see any people in it. You see a lot of like alcohol and liquor in the cart, though.
I'm investigating.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like to investigate.
I would like to take a look at that.
I'd like to stare at it really close.
Yeah, both of you can make investigation checks. Carnelian, if you're looking for those people, you need to make a perception check.
Okay.
Did I also look around?
Sure, absolutely. If you wanting to like look, you can make a perception
11.
check, or if you wanted to ask around, you can make a charisma check.
I rolled a 23.
Hell
Phew.
yeah.
18.
Ooh, let's go.
I was looking around. I got an 18.
Okay, let's go one by one. Also, Father Cruz, make a charisma check for you helping out different individuals. I'm not gonna make you make it strengths or dexterities. People are kind of already like, there are people who are just now like getting over what has happened potentially over the night.
18.
Okay, cool. And then Velu, you're in your book, but you do find a moment to rest the book down and assist as well if you wish, or you can do something on your own desire.
I guess I'll just look around.
Okay, make a perception check for me.
Okay. Today I love tens.
Yeah. Let's go one by one. First off, we're gonna start with Idris Mimosa. Investigating into the cart, lots of alcohol, lots of liquor. Also, you guys see that there's some tattered symbology in the cart. Not of like Xenophane or anything like that, but there's like some. Are any of you familiar with Thieves' Cant?
Mm-mm.
So you can't really read any of like the messages or any like the passing that's in here, but Mimosa Idris, you do see that there's some symbology of some kind of like crew that was like all together in this cart. Like it's all like there's like passing symbols and stuff like that. You take notes of the stuff down, but really the whole cart is just smelling of booze.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the unbroken bottles.
Most are empty,
Mm.
but you do have some
Oh.
extra bottles.
How many? How many do I grab?
Like maybe 5.
Okay.
For Father Cruz, you're able to assist a lot of people. A lot of the conversations that kind of spark up are stuff of they came in the night, it was terrible. There were many of them where they were part of a group. You're not getting too much like notable information. You do manage to go talk to you find information on who the mayor or like the person who runs this place is. Of that, you find a person named Roscoe Sandweave. This is basically the town leader or something. That's a name that's been passed to you. As you're learning of this name, you're hearing other stories that Roscoe was killed. Like you're hearing that their like town leader was basically like shot. Like, and after that, the town basically got raged up into a fire.
Can I try to find the body?
Yeah, you look around for that as well. I'm going to let you continue to do that as everybody else kind of makes their discoveries. Cornelia and Ymir, both of you are making active perception checks. Cornelia specifically for like those people that you saw in the night, and then Ymir, you're just looking around because there's a lot of panic. Cornelian, you don't spot them, even with the high roll that you have made. However, you do spot trails of like maybe like their path. So as you're following, like your investigative mind immediately goes to like, okay, they came from the cart, they went to the city. Where's the footsteps? Where's the footprints? And you're kind of looking and watching. You see the slurring of like dragged feet and multiple footsteps approaching out of the cart, maybe like 10 individuals. As you're following each of the paths, it's hard to keep track, but you do notice they all conglomerate in a group together, which makes it easy for you to find like where they went to point A, point B. And you kind of notice the path of travel they take in the town because it's all dirt and kicked up from the ash. So you could follow this path if you wanted to.
Cornelia will follow the path.
Ymir, with your perceptive check, you see that one of the most burnt buildings in this city looks like a tavern. There is a lizard folk that's kind of standing outside of the tavern with their hands on their hips and kind of just like assessing the damages outside of their tavern. And you are drawn attention to this given like just your knowledge of like what's going on.
I'll head over to the lizard folk.
Yeah. They look
happened?
effeminate. They kind of just like standing there looking, hands on their hips. And it's like, no, I shouldn't have given them any drinks. Hi. So unfortunately, the tavern's closed for a while, obviously. There's some unwelcome visitors came last night and raised some havoc. And I had the unfortunate meant of serving those people, so that's not great. And they're kind of looking at like the singes of like basically the walls that have been like broken down and like from the inside of what was probably a nice tavern. The lizard folk kind of picks up like some of the charred wood and it just kind of like breaks off, and they're like, yeah, it's ironic. The tavern's name was Tinders, and to start laughing.
That's a little depressing. Ymir's gonna walk up to the tavern, and he'll like cast like mending on some parts of it.
And there's like a nod of like assistance is like thank you, and like they like kind of take a hand into you. It's like I'm Regina, and kind of sorry, this is not Regina. This is Javier. Javier kind of like puts a hand on you and just kind of like puts kind of like just goes with you around the tavern, starts talking to you about the town a little bit. The town's name, by the way, as some of you are starting to learn, is Falvenyr. let me see if I can put this here for you guys. Falvenyr, as you come to remember Brother Cruz, you've been here on a missive before on one of your missionaries. Small town. It's kind of closer to the port of the Suncrest Lake. This is actually something as a stop on your way towards Oracle. So you're familiar with this town in that nature. Kind of like slipped your mind because you barely spend any time here, but now that you've seen it kind of rent asunder, you're concerned. And Velu, in your perceptive check as well, one of the things you notice is that there's a couple of people who are just kind of roaming around, just looking around for individuals. And you notice that somebody has kind of just fallen on the ground and they're like unconscious by their home.
Belu's gonna walk over and just see if they need help.
You kind of put a hand down, raising into, like your hand raises down to like the neck. Make a medicine check.
Anyone?
21. They're not with you anymore.
They're what?
They don't have a pulse or anything. Cold.
I'm gonna use my cantrip and use wolves. Like
You set a full. Make a roll a d100. You want 30 or lower.
34.
Unfortunately, the Volt. I think a couple of you guys see this. I think Cornelia and Ymir and Father Cruz, you see Velo's like on his knees and you see like his hands charge up with this black kind of lightning. Raises down to the chest of something that's someone who's like laying on the ground and just pulses. Nothing.
Go put a hand on his shoulder.
Could I ask Javier something?
Yeah, they're kind of like walking around with you, Tab, while you're mending some things like every once in a while, and there's kind of like nodding and just speaking candidly to you already in conversation. Just go ahead and just bring up naturally what you would say.
So the people that you served, faces, names, descriptions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were pirates. I don't want to make the assumption they looked like sailors, but now thinking about it, they may have been ruffians. They called themselves the Roulotte. They were a group of people that came in, continued to drink. I guess our town leader came in, and well, I know I was there. They started to fight amongst our people, and we had some individuals, some guard that were telling them to leave. The town leader came and ordered them to leave our town. They did not take kindly to it, and their captain had shot our town leader straight in the face. There were a lot of fights that broke out. Flames went asunder my tavern, and there are some people who were lost actually in the debris. It's a little much. I think not all of them managed to escape. We took a couple of them down with us, but they had mentioned that they were in their conversations in the tavern. They mentioned that they had found a way to live into the Cedar Paths. Like they're currently staying somewhere around here. No one's making the attempt to go and find them or hold them accountable no one has the energy to do so. It's been a long night.
And if there were people with the energy to do so?
I do not know. We kind of have nothing right now, but I would imagine our town leader would have gracefully helped whoever it was. I don't know who that's going to be, nor do I know if anybody would be willing to become that person, knowing that there's someone who may return tomorrow or tonight.
Did the pirates have any, like, materials or items on them?
They were carrying like
Right.
scimitars and like they had weapons and such on them, flintlocks. Most of them were just dirty. That's really the biggest thing, is that they all carried this scent with them of the ocean, and like we were close to like ports and such, but not in that nature. You know, it's so far off from the Castro line that it'd be insane to see a pirate crew so far in shore.
Did you get the look of the head honcho?
Mm-hmm.
Like the main?
Yeah, there was he called himself Captain Hung. I laughed too. It was funny, but there's more to that probably.
That's an overcompensation.
I don't know. Maybe it's a play on hangman or something like that, but like I don't know. I don't know. Captain Hung. That's what they called him. And he's the guy that had shot Roscoe. So.
And is this Roscoe like a really nice?
I mean, he's been great. I mean, I haven't known him personally, but the Council of Oracle made sure that he was the leader of this town, and we had sent missives out to Oracle to this when this event occurred, and we didn't get anybody showing up to help us. I don't understand.
Interesting.
Maybe they only would have accepted it from him, or I don't know. That seems as though we've fallen on short ears. As that conversation still continues to take place, Father Cruz, you are hovering over Velo, and Velo is kind of like paused over this person who has not returned back.
I'm gone, but that's okay. Just like pray over them, I guess.
Yeah, you understand the passing. Mimosa and Idris, after getting your kind of like investigation going, you see Carnelian's on a trail. Idris, you're familiar when Carnelian has spotted something. Carnelian, you're following these path of footprints over to the tavern area where Ymir's having conversation, and you're noticing that there's a group of like footprints that run off into the distance. You see that one of the footprints tatters off from the rest of the group.
Can Idris follow along with Carnelian?
Yeah, you two are kind of like seeing him like doing his investigation. If you two want to do anything else, though, you may do so.
Mimosa does not want to be left behind. He's just gonna follow her.
You both kind of rush forward. Carnelian, you again see one of the many foot trails that follow in this big group of people who are rushing away from the tavern. Start heading towards the east, but you're noticing that one of the foot trails has gone in a different direction away from the rest of the group.
I want to say as he's traveling, he's gonna reload his gun. Just so you know.
Yeah, you reload.
Which one looks more recent?
The one that parted off.
I'll go for that one then.
You take note of the rest of the like foot foldings going off. You part and follow this one trail. You kind of go towards this house that's still standing pretty sturdy, and you notice that the door at the front is closed, but the windows are smashed.
He'll sneak up to the house.
You see from the house inside and looking. Do you want to peer into the window or open the door? Like, what do you want to do?
Peer into the windows.
Idris and Mimosa, you're kind of following behind as well, so you have attention to this. You look inside and you see that there's somebody like kind of like hung over one of their beds, just kind of laying over the bed. They look like filthy, like they're covered in like grime and dirt and whatever from like something, but you see that they're on like what white linen. It's all like gross and covered. You see that they're not moving on the bed though.
I'll try to open the door, I guess.
It's locked.
Can I reach through the window to like reach to the door, or is it too far apart?
It's interesting because as soon as you go to reach through the window, you're noticing that the break in the window is the same way as if somebody were to do the same exact thing. So it's almost like you don't even cut yourself trying to get through the window or the shards because it looks like someone has already done that for you.
Okay. I'll stay on high alert and shoot anything that jumps out at me.
As you open the door, it swings open. The light kind of emerges into the room. There's only one thing in here, and it's that body that's draped over the bed, just slunked over. There is breathing rising and falling from the chest, though, and it is passed the fuck out.
Can I check if the boots match the prints?
You kind of look over, making an investigation check. Mimosa and Idris, you kind of approach towards the door and kind of watch as Carnelian slowly just checks out the scene.
18.
Yes, they match.
And can I like
the whole
I
house?
just
This
look around the
house
while keeping my eye
that
on
you
him?
this house. There are two other rooms with doors closed. If you want, you can go try to open those doors.
Okay. I'll take note on this person's looks and what they have on them. Probably, yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll go open the rooms.
You go open the first room. You see in the first room there is somebody who is currently just like waiting, like sitting on the wall, and their eyes are kind of wide. They have the adornment of a human woman. They kind of look up at you and kind of see you kind of enter into a room like gun ablazing, and they kind of like tuck themselves away and hide.
Was the door locked?
No. But you do get the sense that you move some things out of the way of the door as you kind of look at the other side, and you see there's like furniture and stuff like that's been pushed over against the door.
I'll walk up to them cautiously and I'll stare at them and kind of.
The flintlock gives them a bit of nervousness as they kind of look at that and look at you. It's like, please don't.
Why are you hiding?
Are you? They kind of like look out and like look at you. It's like, you're not here to.
No, but it looks like someone broke in.
Right. I've been in here. They've tried to get in, and I didn't let them.
Do you know what they look like?
No, I just know that I heard the window shatter, and I ran to back here and blocked myself in.
Okay, come here.
And they get up and they kind of like rush over a bit. They're human. They're young, but still an adult. They come over and they kind of peer through the halls. Like, oh my god, who is that?
Okay, that's probably the person. Can I like investigate their hand to see if they hurt their hand breaking through the glass?
They have a glove on, but you do see some glass shards kind of like reminiscent on the floor. Kind of nearby.
This is probably the person that broke in.
And they're kind of like passed out on the bed.
So,
I'm going
what
to.
do you want to do about that?
I'm going to say with that, we're going to take our break.
Okay. I'll be back.
Yeah, of course. With that, you guys now are on your break as some things go underway in the city or the town of Falvenyr. So, you guys got about 15 minutes or so to do what you need, maybe 10, if it so pleases you. We'll return back.
15.
15.
15.
We'll return back at 9:55, and we will go ahead and resettle into the scenario of what's going on in this town. Unless you guys need anything else, go ahead and meet yourselves, and I'll see you back at 9:55. When everybody makes their return, we'll go ahead and get back and started with the session. But
Hello? Oh, okay.
hello.
My mic wasn't working for like 5 seconds.
Well, now it is. You fixed it.
I fixed it with the will of my mind.
How are things settling between how's Mimosa doing right now?
Hungry.
What's the menu?
Meat.
Meat.
1 pound.
Meat.
And some booze.
Now. We'll hope for the best. Let's say at 10, I'll just roll back into the session. Who's here will be here.
Mm-hmm.
How late are we going, by the way?
I'm gonna save you guys a little bit of time on the end here, so not a worry on that. But I apologize about the late start in the beginning. That was
That's okay. Stuff happens sometimes, bro.
yeah, it's all good. But appreciate you guys being flexible, and that's always a nice thing.
Yeah, but if you ever do it again, you better lock your doors.
Be a knock on my door. What are you doing? Don't you know it's dice game time?
There's no second chances.
Nice game.
Sorry you lost rock paper scissors there.
Fucking irritated.
Speaking of dice game.
My first one I lost by 2,
Game anymore.
and I won by 1, and I lost by 1. That was a close ass match.
Oh, Idris is right. You do get something.
Man just
Real.
man straight like stood up and walked around like
I can't punch her. I can't punch her. I cannot
you-
punch her.
At least you're that Homelander meme.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel you. That's kind of funny. Well,
Katie, did you still want to do Outlast after D&D or no?
Depends on what time we end, but I ain't getting answered.
We'll see.
See,
we're gonna kick back into the session. For those who have not returned just yet, we'll make sure that they get their opportunities. However, we're going to jump back into it. Returning back to the town of... Where's it again? What did I call this freaking town? Falvenyr. You all have, I'll say for the most part, all of you guys have returned back to one another except for Cornelia and Father Cruz Mimosa. So Idris, Ymir, and Velu, you kind of all return back to one another, kind of gathering the information you have. And you guys see kind of off in the distance Mimosa and Father Cruz who are like pinned up at a house while Cornelian's on the inside inspecting something.
I thought Idris was with Mimosa.
Yeah, it was...
Sorry,
Yeah.
switch Idris and Father Cruz, but yes.
They teleported.
I don't know where I am, but all right.
You
You're
were
with me.
you were with Velu.
It's
What's this
just-
fellow?
Yeah, I know. He just said.
But
we-
now, you, Father Cruz and Velu, you have returned,
Oh,
seen
I-
Ymir, and joined back
I had
together.
a thing I wanted to do.
What do you want to do?
I didn't want to be with everybody. I wanted to help bury their dead.
Oh,
I wanted to
they
give.
they are not doing that at this moment. You are a little late to that party. But there is this person that seems to have been like uncaught, so you can take this person over to somebody, but there is really no one kind of in charge of that scenario at this time. You could,
Well, yeah, because they're dead.
yeah,
Because the mayor died.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go do that.
So we're not met up.
not met up, I guess. Father Cruz, you have a moment where Father Cruz, you like have this body in your hands, and you walk with Velu over next to Ymir for a moment. You are joined with them for a moment, Velu. You see Father Cruz kind of nods and like walks off with this body to go like take them somewhere. But Velu, you are returned back with Ymir, and Father Cruz, you go off to bury the dead.
I was gonna ask a question.
Go ahead.
Like I'm saying that out loud next to Velu.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I'm just watching Cruz leave.
Yeah, I'm stepping away.
Have you ever dealt with pirates before, Velu?
It's not even here.
Yeah, I don't know if he returned just yet, but Velu kind of stays.
He typed.
Where?
They look goofy.
He was typing like just now.
Oh god, my
Literally
I
just
killed
now.
him. I
He's
killed him.
dead. He just couldn't save him.
You know, I'm just gonna follow Cruz.
Bella's left stunned. I have a question, and then you just walk off. Distraction. You follow Cruz. Cornelian, you're in this room. Idris and Mimosa, you're on the outside of the doorway and kind of like standing guard a little bit. You guys see everything that's going on inside. You see Cornelian has now escorted this this human like woman out, and she like dashes kind of outside the door. Mimosa and Idris, you meet and greet with this worried person who has dashed out of their own home probably. Idris, you kind of like immediately feel the embrace of somebody who just like wants to be comforted, and just they hold on to you.
Where did you come from?
Just hold on to you for a second, Idris, and they're like, I'm sorry. Who is this person in my home?
Can I check the other room?
Yeah, you open the door. There's nothing on its other door. It looks like storage.
What's in the storage?
You kind of look around and see there's like a couple of like clothing and like rations, food. It looks like this is a what would be the equivalent of kind of just a place where people would put their like old belongings and stuff. Like it looks like a abandoned place where maybe a child used to live, but now that you can see like the years of something that's grown and left. Like there's remnants of like a old like book and like a bed that's no longer like rested in because it has the dust that carries upon it. There looks to be like knickknacks and stuff like that of that nature that rest here of maybe like memories of like a childhood that lived in this room. It's just a storage room at this point, but it used to have some remnant of a kid living here, maybe.
Well, I'll go back to the room with the sleeping guy.
Yeah, it's just the main room in the front, and he's like passed out on like some couch / bed thing in at the front of the, like he's just leaning over it.
I'll take the weapons off of him.
Easy enough. Most of them are actually not even like on. It looks like there's a belt with like his scimitar, a flintlock. It's an arcane flintlock. That's like adorned, one of those charging ones, and a couple of daggers. Looks like maybe like a pouch with some money in it, maybe. It's all like kind of set to the side, and this person's like belts undone, shirts untucked, like full like shoes still on, just like laying on this place and passed out. You smell alcohol.
So, you said there's an arcane flintlock that he just had?
Yeah, it's on his belt.
Okay, I'll take The gold and that.
Yeah, you take it.
How much gold?
The gold's like not much. It's like 1 gold piece, and the rest of it's like copper and silver. 20 silver, 10 copper.
Okay.
Yeah, not too much.
How much gold did I get from that message? Was it like 100?
100.
And then I'll add to my notes. I got another flintlock.
You might not be able to carry it around with you, just based upon like your weight and carrying capacity. But you can just like you'll be like slowed for a bit.
Didn't we buy like a bag or something?
You did acquire a bag of colding, which Mimosa has.
Mimosa's
at the door. Yeah, Mimosa and Idris are both at the door. You see Idris is like comforting this woman who just ran out of their home, and Mimosa's just present, kind of maintaining a watch of the area.
I'll signal kind of like a fingers, like I don't know how to describe it. My hand kind of like closing in on itself to like signal come over here.
Yeah, the what is it called? The approach me type of thing, like when you're doing like a fighting stance, you know, like the Bruce Lee kind of like come over here. You signal that to your friends.
Mimosa's gonna give Idris a quick wave before walking off to Cornelian.
Yeah, you walk into the
What's
home.
Open your bag real quick.
Oh, why?
I want to take this gun and put it inside.
Gun.
Yeah, he holds like an
Arcane
arcane flintlock to put in there.
Once he's gonna scratch his head, but just take it anyways.
Yeah, you're gonna add an arcane flintlock to the bag of colding.
Okay. I'm gonna wake this guy up, but he's probably the one that broke into this house, so it might be a little
Do
confrontation.
you want me to grab him?
Can you just pick him up, actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Bro up.
Bro is like a rag doll, drunk smelling, but booze, liquor, a little bit of like acid is kind of left on the bed stain where the mouth was. This is a half orc as well. As you kind of lift the face up and notice the tusks in the mouth.
Idris is gonna poke her head in and she's gonna go, Is that the man who broke into this lady's house?
I think so. I'm gonna find out.
I need
Going.
to shake him.
No. You just make sure he doesn't wiggle from you. Cornelia
Okay.
will take out his arcane flintlock and hold it tight and smack him hard on the face twice to wake him up.
Just you could do 1 point of damage to this dude. Like just straight up, just full Glock hit on the back of the head. Maybe knocked him out even more. Hold on.
I wanna do it on the side of his face so it's like his cheek. But like I'm fucking hitting him hard, so
Yeah, you definitely do damage to him. There's a murmur of like, but then there's no like awakening or like immediacy to like your smack. Even though you've done a point of damage to this person, they are just incoherent. Idris, you can make a medicine check if you like.
I'm gonna smack him again.
1 point of damage one more time.
Oh, 4.
4.
Not a good roll today.
Yeah, not sure. They're just not responding. I'm gonna go ahead and move from your guys' position to see what Father Cruz and Ymir are doing. Ymir, you kind of catch up with Father Cruz. Just walking a little slowly, kind of going towards a path of where maybe some other people may have been laid to rest. It's mostly Father Cruz. You understand the respect in burying the dead, and you understand that you must bury the people most north of a place for like some places, or like where their locations are most deemed like where the draft wouldn't carry like the smell of the dead downwind. And like there's a whole bunch of like things that you like kind of like take into consideration as you're walking, and you hear the footsteps of Ymir behind you.
Hey, so like, what are you doing exactly?
Burying their dead.
Oh, you guys
Somebody
do
has
that?
to do it.
Oh. Where I come from, when people die, we just let the sands take them away.
Where I'm
Something
from,
about being like one with the desert.
we actually do that where I'm from too.
Oh, really? Wow.
We cremate them first, and then
Oh.
pour them with the sand.
Interesting. Huh. Do you... We're doing this, but, the people that attacked this town, I believe I was told that they are, like, pirates, maybe? And they were, like, living around here nearby. But everybody's kind of scattered off doing hell knows what. I'm not really sure how to relay that information to everyone.
I learned that he took out the town leader first.
Yeah,
And
they
then
shot
struck.
him in the face.
Well, I trust in everybody to take care of this, but sometimes you have to take care of the little things too.
You guys approach a spot where would be appropriate to bury.
I'll just sit down next to wherever Cruz is gonna start working on the burial. So like this religion of when something dies, it transfers over to the other person. Why even bother burying bodies?
For my religion, typically we don't bury a body because then that way they could be brought back. But I don't know this person. They weren't religious, so I can't apply my customs to them.
Did you ask the townspeople who they were and what religion they followed?
Since Cruz has been here before, would he know?
You can make a religion check, but even if you don't do roll high, I'll be able to tell you a little bit.
Oh, that wrong. No map. 14.
14. Just based upon like one what this person was wearing or symbology, you don't detect any like religious garb or like relics, right? There's no like prayer beads or anything like that, so they don't like hold any type of what's it called, like religious virtue upon them. Additionally, this town that you visited before, the reason why it's always been kind of like a short stop is because this town is actually heavily influenced by the Kingdom of Oracle. So a lot of religions kind of like weird in that nature. So a lot of people don't follow here. Like they practice like a lot of atheism, or like basically like what it would be I can't remember the name of it. Well, basically they don't follow anything because they just don't choose to. It's not a problem of they don't believe in anything, it's just a problem of they feel as though they're already satisfied. So you find that as a sad thought, as someone doesn't have somewhere to move after they have gone. They apostates, basically, like apostasy, like people who believe that they don't need spiritual like enlightenment or anything like that. You have a very strong understanding of this place being like that, being so close to the Kingdom of Oracle, and also a lack of your time. Still very sad that someone has passed and really doesn't have a place for them to go in the afterlife in your mind. So, you are doing what's necessary, but Yuri does bring up a good point of like asking, but you feel very confident that most of the people in this town don't follow any type of like strict belief system. There's not even a grave like nearby.
Well, I've been here a few times, Amir, but these people aren't very religious. My passings
Oh.
are short, but I never asked you. Are you religious?
I mean, I mentioned the Sandman to you, I think. Yeah, the Sandman. But he wasn't really like a god per se. He was more like a normal person who turned god because he had like genies. I don't know if you ever heard of a genie before. And that allowed him to cast wishes. So we saw him as a god, but now he's dead. So I don't really know if I'm supposed to keep following him or just like do whatever I wish. But
Father Cruz, you spark up at the idea of some of these religions. I'm gonna say you can make another religion check with advantage. But you have some elements to this that you may already understand. If you want to use those elements.
20. I didn't use guidance. I don't care.
Okay.
So 20.
20. You understand exactly what Ymir is talking about, actually. He's talking about Jinneeism. It's a natural like belief religion within the Makoti Desert. It's very familiar to you because it's close to Halavar. You actually have a friend that practices that same belief.
Ooh. Actually knew somebody who practiced that. They were Genasi like yourself.
oh, what? Name?
Their name is Lukoi?
Yeah, that's what you remember.
Lukoi. But it's been a long time since I've seen them. I'm not sure if they're even still alive.
What kind of Genasi were they? Like water, fire,
Earth.
Earth? I don't talk to a lot of Earth Genasis. They're like, I don't want to get into it. It's a whole thing, actually.
I understand. But I mean, death is what gives life meaning. So, if your god is dead, that means that he made an impact. Maybe he's physically dead, but he's still with you.
All that
Isn't that what a
resonates a
god
bit.
is? The idea that you carry, even if they're no longer with us?
Honestly, I don't know how to answer that question. I don't think I'm really into this religion stuff as much, but it's nice to hear from you because you seem really devoted.
Ymir, in the back of your mind, you hear blah, 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 blah. Come on. You know better than that. It's much more simple, Ymir. They die. We live.
Ymir shushes out loud, but then
Huh?
looks over it. Oh, no, not you. Sorry. I'm gonna go look for the pirates, I guess, because they might have cool stuff that I can steal from them. Ymir will get up and dust himself off. You gonna stay here and bury the dead?
There's only one you
Join
found, Father Cruz, so yeah, there's not much else to do.
Alright, well.
You guys move off. Velu, you're kind of left in the dust a little bit. You see Ymir kind of fall and trail off Father Cruz, and you see that Cornelia, Mimosa, and Idris are kind of engaging in like some investigation. I think it comes to your attention that there's a little bit of like panic in the town a little bit, but there's not like the type of panic where everybody's like in a frenzy and running around like rampant and scared. This is like a panic of people who are just kind of like looking around worried of like what's next. There are people whose homes have been like broken into and stolen from, as you can notice, and a lot of like the tavern itself was like the most burned thing here, but there are certain other parts of the town that have like kind of risen up in like ash, but not as terrible. The information that is gathered from just walking around and investigating Velu passively, you have a strong suspicion that the people who came to this town did not come for like any type of vengeance or any type of like revenge. You have a feeling that these people were just bad individuals that maybe were causing havoc for the sake of their own gratitude. Most of the stories that you're hearing and also the investigations you're making seem to point to these were drunken pirates that had come through and just pillaged and ran off.
Okay.
So you come to that consensus a little bit just passively, and you can join one of your other groups if you so desire, but you are kind of just on your own, like looking around if there's anything you wish to do.
Can I investigate further?
Not much else you really can investigate beyond what's already been shared, but you can try doing anything else you wish.
You said I'm around town.
Yeah, like there's
I'm in
buildings and stuff like that. Yeah.
Can I just do a perception check?
What are you looking for?
Maybe like other pirates that might be around, or like anyone that needs help.
Sure. You don't really have to make a perception check for that, but you see that there are some people and individuals who like they're currently like picking up a bunch of the debris and like moving stuff around from where like shattered like glass is from windows, and like you see people who are currently like looking and accounting for people. You see that there's a couple of like bruised up or like people who are bloodied, who look to be like you look like some people who have like stab wounds. There's some people who have gunshots. You can attend to any of these people that you so desire.
Can I attend to them?
Yeah, sure. You'll spend some time doing that and helping out around the area. Lots of thanks and shaking your hand, and people are like kind of walking up to you. It's like, I don't understand why you're helping us.
Just good people do good things.
There's like a smile that kind of goes across. It's like, we definitely need some good around here. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm just kind of like, you see like someone's like stitching up like a scar, like for where a bullet was basically like pulled out of, or like you see like where singe marks of force damage were like basically placed upon someone's chest and like it's permanently like scarred. And they're looking to try to like salve that with like some medicinal herbs and stuff like that. Moving back over to Cornelia, Mimosa, and Idris. Cornelia, you've smacked this dude twice and he has not gotten up. And Idris, you're failing a pretty pivotal medicine check right now. So I'm going to say that, Cornelia, what do you want to do?
Well, he's not waking up. He probably won't do damage. We can just leave him outside, Mimosa, and see where the other pirates went to.
Alright.
You guys kind of walk
Just
out.
toss him
outside, I
aside.
guess.
You guys
Yeah.
walk out with this body and just kind of toss it to the side. Falls to the ground, Peter Griffin style, just on the ground. It's gross. You feel dirty, Mimosa, even after picking up this body. Smelly. Yeah, if you want to go continue following the other footprints, you may. You do take notice, though, Mimosa and Idris, as Cornelian continues his investigation to go follow this path. You take notice that some of the town members have taken notice of you taking a body out of this building and throwing it onto the ground and have come over to start looking.
Idris is gonna shield that young woman's eyes. She's gonna go, I don't think you want to see this.
One of the townsfolk comes over, just spits on the body, Another one comes over and kicks the shit out of it, doing another point of damage. Mimosa and Idris, you get the sense that this person or whoever it is that was laying here is alive, but something's wrong with them. So you take notice to a couple more people walking up, like townspeople, and you notice that there's a tavern owner that starts walking over, like this feminine, like lizard folk. They come over, and you see that they pull out like a knife from their pocket, and they're about to go stab this person, like in the like the chest. And sure enough, just the blade meets the chest and twist. And there's a moment where the lizard folk kind of looks up at the two of you, pulls the blade out.
No, no trial or anything. Just stab.
They kind of like take the blade, wipe it off on their own, on the person's body. It's like, does it matter?
I mean, I think so. Like, what if they weren't all too bad?
This is the guy. This is the guy that shot him.
Shot who?
Kind of like look over. They're the ones that shot Roscoe, the mayor. The captain ordered it, but this is the person that shot him. Pitiful. Didn't deserve it. What trial wasn't meant to be fair. And they you kind of see like the glossing over their eyes as they kind of pull the dagger back and sheath it back in their pocket. It's like, don't bury this one. And they kind of just walk back over to their area and tavern. Like, that's it. That person is dead. Whoever it was.
I would love to frisk their body, but I am still covering this young woman, so I'm gonna look at Mimosa.
The woman has not seen what has just happened, so like, you're like, ooh. There's not much else to frisk off the body. I mean, they have like their leathers and stuff like that. There's some like their boots. They got boots on. I mean, you can steal the boots, but like they're a dead half orc on the ground covered in like what would be sailors' equipment and stuff like that. The rest of it, Carnelian basically has taken from the belt loops and from their immediate equipment. So everything else here would be just common clothes and the smell of liquor.
Mimosa.
Yeah.
Could you do me a favor?
Sure.
Could you pick this person up and walk the other way from me?
I mean,
she like gestures to this young woman that she's still like basically cradling.
What's going on?
Right. Okay.
What's going on?
He's gonna just pick him up and then just start walking the other direction.
Nothing. We just dropped something. Let's walk this way, shall we?
Oh my god, the tavern! He just looks over at the distance the other way, where the tavern's just burnt to the flame and like cinder. Not cinders. I worked there. Oh no!
Cinders? I mean, I mean, what a travesty. Shall we make sure that everyone's all right?
Yeah, I gotta check on. Is Regina all right? You see, like, did you have you? How about Lillian?
Honey, what's your name? What's your name?
It's like pauses for a second. It's like Amanda.
Amanda, what a lovely name. I'm Idris.
Hello. Just kind of like wait for a moment just to figure out what's going on. And just like, Mimosa, you return bodiless. Like there's like you've moved it to a location where it's not seen anymore.
Right. So, Amanda, could you tell me what has happened here?
No.
No.
I basically locked myself in my room. Don't have locks on my doors. That was probably a mistake on my part. But I managed to shove enough furniture over the night and hold the door tight enough so someone didn't barge in there, and that was scary.
Well, you did a great job. You're
I-
very brave.
I didn't have anybody else to help me. You
Hey,
just like,
self-reliance, huh?
and just kind of like doesn't even make the gesture of like trying to make a joke about it. They have some scarring in their eyes right now. They for a moment like step back for a second. It's like, I'm gonna go to see if I can check on some of my friends and see if they're okay.
Of course. We'll be by that. I'm so sorry. What did you call that tavern?
Tinders.
Tenders.
It's ironic.
We'll. I can see that. We'll be sending over there waiting for you. Okay. If you need
Just-
anything, let us know.
Just nods for a moment and it's like, right, thanks. And just kind of
My pleasure.
walks away. Cornelian, you've chased this path down to the point where it's evaded your space because it's turned from gravel and dust to grass, and you no longer have a sight to where the trail leads, but you do know it goes east, which unfortunately for you is not the same direction as where the travel to Halavar is. So you kind of stop at this moment, watching the path kind of fade into like the woods. Father Cruz and Ymir, you return back to the town from where you bury your dead, and Ymir, and turning around, you see Javier, the Blizzard folk has walked from where the location where Mimosa and Idris was, and they kind of walk with this like speed in their step towards their tavern, and like they're like, you see that there's like they like kick some shit on the ground, and like they're like frustrated. You see a bunch of people who have like gathered over to where Carnelian was, but Mimosa seems to have backed some people off, and people are like scattering back around.
Where's Vilu at?
Standing,
We'll
he
have back
Vilu's helping around the area. He was currently like assisting with some of the injured. It looks like. You see he's like sitting there with like a person who has like scar wounds and stuff on there. He's like has a hand on like kind of like what the other person's hand, looking at them and like assisting with like adjusting this person from sitting and standing and like trying to help them walk. He's currently just helping people.
Let's go see what's going on with the crab.
Velu, you've kind of like cleared up as many people as you can for like helping them out. If you want to rejoin back to anybody.
Sure. Who do I see first?
Up to you. I mean, the first person you see is probably Father Cruz and Ymir, who have returned.
Then I'll go probably walk to them.
Mhm.
I'll walk to them.
Yeah, walk closer to them, and then Ymir, Father Cruz, you see Mimosa, Idris, and you in the very far distance you see Carnelian, who's like following a trail of some kind.
Oh, what is even the dealio?
Who?
Everybody.
Oh,
We're
I
all
was
standing
helping.
together. Okay, cool.
Mosa, what'd you find?
Unless it's just holding a body.
It's a dead body.
What is this?
And that is
Well, this is
And
a
then-
culprit of somebody
and-
who broke into a house, and then one of the towns members came over and stabbed him.
okay.
You just watched it happen?
Well,
Um,
it just kind of happened out of nowhere. I did not expect it.
What did they do to get stabbed exactly?
Like I said, they broke into a house and shot the mayor.
We didn't really have much of a
Oh.
choice.
It's the pirate that shot the mayor. Okay. Did you guys get any leads on where the other pirates might be?
As you say that, you kind of look up and see Carnelian returning back to the group from the path that ended. Basically, the only information Cornelia would have at this moment is that the path leads east into the cedar paths, and you would probably have to make some more survival-based checks in order to follow where maybe their trail went, or ask maybe around. Maybe there's some more information in the town about, directions or anything like that. But Carnelian also takes into the mention that this is outside of the scope of like your travel as well. So you would have to make reparations to like stay here potentially to work on this, which I'm sure you guys would, but like that's also a conversation to be had. So Carnelian, you bring back like this information, and all the group is regathered at this point.
Yeah. And I walk up. It's kind of out of the way.
Oh, well. Alright, so when are we leaving? Like,
You don't wanna help
Halabar.
these people?
No. I don't care to do anything else.
They don't really have anything to give.
People just kind of look in disgust.
Wait, we do have something to give.
They.
Them.
Why would we do this expecting?
Because
I'm not gonna
I
waste
have-
my time.
I have shit to do.
These people need our help.
I don't necessarily know them, and I don't do jobs for free. So
And there's no immediate danger. They already left.
Doesn't mean we can.
That doesn't mean
Him.
they won't come back.
Yeah.
Let's just stay one night and help them, and then we'll leave.
You guys have
what time of
traveled.
day is it?
You
We
guys have
just
traveled a little
slept,
bit.
didn't we?
No, you guys have traveled a little bit to get to this point. So that is actually something to make mention. Is like this is like you guys have made half of your day's travel, like 4 hours of travel already. So like this is half of your day gone by. So it wouldn't be opposed of you to stay, but it would delay your arrival to Halavar, which isn't terrible, right? Because you could stay and help, but you also could just make your way and kind of go on your own to go back, which is either way a decision that you guys must make together.
What do you think, Vilu?
Oh, we could help, but I don't really know them. So
That's
We don't-
not helpful.
We don't have to track down the pirates or leave. We don't have to go out of our way.
But these
We can
Either
stay here
way.
for one night and help them. And
Hey,
leave
we
these
in the
can-
morning.
ones are
Mimosa,
innocent.
he's gonna
They're
pull out
innocent.
his bag of holding. We can make them like a meal or something.
You guys
Thank
are
you,
so
Mimosa.
nice.
That's one dinner they don't have to worry about.
You guys are way too nice for this world.
Come here. Seriously.
What?
No, I don't want to hear it.
Demir, if you lost everything, would you not appreciate the kindness of strangers?
No.
That see
That's literally my whole thing. I don't want that.
the
I
You
don't-
don't have
handouts
to give it
either.
if you don't want to receive it.
Ymir, make a charisma saving throw, Ymir.
Die.
charisma saving throw.
Actually,
16.
16. Is it possible that I could get everybody else to deafen for me?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
Hold on. Bye.
How do we know when to come
Loser.
back?
I
How do we know
will.
when to come
I
back?
will message you guys.
Okay, bye.
Ymir, it was something about what they said about the kindness of strangers that comes back to you. You remember 3 occasions in your past where the kindness of strangers is what brought you back from those very, very low points in your life. This saving throw is not necessarily for like a failure of a spell or anything like that. But this is a problem of maybe they're onto something for that, and it kind of changes your mind on it. The reason I had people deafen is not to share any of your lost story, but what I wanted to share with you is this. there is a chance of opportunity to switch on your momentary alignment towards this. And I'm going to ask you, would you switch? Do you think Ymir's alignment towards helping others is switched?
Not in that regard, but he is swayed to help because of his past.
Okay, that's it. That's what I wanted to ask. With your Charisma saving throw, there is an opportunity that your alignment may have shifted depending on the situation. The rest of you undeafen as this flash of scene basically returns. The moment passes again of like kind of like a still quietness, and all of you guys come back. The air settles, and all of you are still left with the question of if you help or not.
Oh boy.
Like, oh, so we're gonna make like a meal for them,
Yeah.
or are we gonna look for the?
Oh, we're just helping here. We're not leaving.
Okay, that's fine.
So
I can do that.
a nod of like approval comes from Ymir. A different tone of, you know, thought and understanding, unless a wave has passed over. There is that same kind of coldness, Carnelian, that you have still. And Idris, you see this in Carnelian's face, and, you know, it's not... This is probably one of the parts of Carnelian that you never liked, Idris. And it kind of, like, is that reminder of, like, some of the bad times of, like, the coldness. But either way, Carnelian, given the sanity of, like, the rest of your group, you kind of do have that obligation to help now that everybody else has.
So are we staying the night? Are you guys doing food and then we're leaving?
Staying the night.
Might as well. We have the time and the energy, so.
And I have the cart.
And it's the right thing to do.
I'm so proud of you.
Don't say it
Ymir.
like that.
Jacob, can you look at DMs?
Mm-hmm.
Idris is just gonna sigh and look away, not even looking at anybody in the group.
Belu's gonna smile. I
Idris,
am happy to help.
Idris Velu, I really appreciate that you want to help these people. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, let's just try and get this over with. So these
Miz,
two hot worrywats want to get this over with for so fast. Idris is gonna roll up her sleeves. Now she has an attitude.
Belu's gonna look at Idris and smile. I don't think you should be mean towards them. If they want to act like that, they should. And you can't change a person.
Oh, I'm not being mean. I'm just being honest.
Interesting. Belu continues to smile.
How much meat do you think I should pull out?
Belu smiles, fades away. Probably like
Pounds?
he's not frowning. Probably like maybe like 10.
Okay.
How much meat do you have?
I have. I've been keeping track.
Carnelian,
Yeah.
I have 79.
you take
Pounds
notice of something as
Six.
the like group is kind of like chattering. You're kind of a little phased out of like all the situation that's happening. You've made your investigation. You know the direction they're going. It's away from your path of travel. It's no monetary value. It kind of like it all stacks up at the same sob story, right? That you've always dealt with your whole entire life of like, yeah, town gets on fire. They need help, but there's no money in it for me. So why would I do it? They don't care. Why would I care? However, there is a moment where you're kind of not participating in like the conversation anymore, and you kind of turn and look. You do see that there is a little boy who's currently just kind of like walking around a little bit. This looks like a like a young like human boy, and they're kind of just walking alone around, and you see that they kind of stop, and you just kind of see them grab onto their eye and let's kind of like rub their eye a bit, and you see them just kind of sit where they're at and they start crying. I feel like Carnelian has this obligation, like kind of like seeing this, to kind of approach that scenario if you so desire.
I guess Cornelia would wander off towards the boy, not saying a word to the group.
Yeah, you guys are all like kind of having this conversation about what steps to make and what's going to be happening. Carnelian was already kind of out of the question. Carnelian, you walk over, you see this little boy. He's like kind of like crisscrossed on the ground. He's like, you just hear kind of like the sobbing and weeping, just a...
Hello?
Just kind of like stops. It's like, whoa. It's like, looks up at you and sees like this black cat suit, guns. Just like, are you here to help us? And there's like a problem, like a little moment there, and it's like you kind of like think about it for a second, and then without a beat, the kid kind of looks up. It's like, I can't find my sister.
Jacob. Okay. What does she look like?
She has red hair, freckles. She's taller than me, a little older. Yeah, that's what she looks like. Is
race?
Human, just like me. She might be half elf, actually. My mom never. Anyways.
Oh.
They didn't say. She has kind of the ears, the pointed ones, and then she hides it underneath the. Anyway, I don't think that matters.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We can go look. Where do you last remember seeing her?
She was there, and he like points behind where he was like kind of walking from, and you see kind of like a crumpled up like house.
Oh. Okay. You wait right here, and if you need any more help on it, if someone weird comes up to you, you just go to that group over there, and Cornelian will point to the group that he was with, and then he'll walk towards and into the house, looking around.
Rubble. This house was not burnt more than it was someone had ruined the foundation and basically pushed this house over. Like, this was not as a stable home already, and you can see it based upon the way it was built, but the walls were torn down, everything was rent asunder, you see stuff was stolen. There's no signs of anything here, but you kind of like wait and look for a moment underneath like some of this rubble. You do see kind of like peeking out like a dress of some kind. You lean over, go to pull onto the dress, and you notice that the dress is loose. Pulls out. It's just a dress. There's no one's wearing it.
Okay, dickhead.
Sorry. Yes, you pull that up. You hear from behind you, "Mom!" You kind of turn around and see like the kid run over. You hear whispers like, "Where's your sister?" Like, he's looking for him. It's like that whispers. You have this like, I don't know what it is that Carnelian like motivates himself upon, but there is something about it that kind of charges that shadowy like feeling about you, and you just kind of like the eyes wince a bit, and you just get filled with like this frustration of like who these people were and what they were doing and why they had to go and like ruin this for somebody, and you kind of, it builds that fire and fuel, and your investigation falls short because you can't find anything, and that frustrates you even more.
Nothing in the house.
Nothing. There's no residual footprints or anything that you can find. Even if you were to make an investigation check, you would just see that whatever was here has been torn apart.
Okay. Carnelian will go back to the tracks that he remembered with the big group and see if there's any smaller footsteps.
You don't see smaller.
With a big group of footsteps with a.
You need to make you need to make a survival check.
Okay.
The rest of the group, by the way, you guys can have your conversations what you wish. You do see that Carnelian kind of like again wanders off from you guys, and you guys have your assumptions, of course. But the rest of you are on the same page of what to do. So.
30, 20.
Wander off to the tavern.
Yeah, it's all burnt up and wander over there.
I'll just mend it.
It'll take you some time to like do a full like render of like at least the foundational portions of this, given that you can only work on like I think a foot a minute. So yeah, it'll take you some time.
Go heal people.
Yeah.
Keep doing pamphlets.
Everybody takes efforts in helping out around, I imagine. Carnelian, your investigation, you don't see tiny footprints more than you see drag marks.
Okay. Carnelian will go back into the forest and try to follow him.
just without the rest of the group.
Yep.
Okay. I think I need all 5 of you to make a perception check.
Okay.
Other than Carnelian. What is your passive stealth?
25.
Carnelian? What is your stealth modifier, Carnelian?
My stealth mod?
Yeah.
7.
Okay. And you,
13.
okay. Anybody roll higher than 17?
I did. I got a 25.
Anybody who rolled higher than 17 will notice that Carnelian jets off into the forest.
Chris don't give a shit.
Oh. Idris is gonna follow.
You guys see Idris peer off and like rush over. The 4 of you are
We
kind
see
of left.
Idris go.
Yeah, you guys just see Idris just take off, running towards where Carnelian may have been. You guys don't see Carnelian anymore, but Idris, you maintain a pace relevant to keeping up with your friend. Carnelian's fast, but like you have to keep up. You manage to see Carnelian's not like sprinting into the woods or anything. He's just kind of like making a quick pace. And Idris, you will manage to catch up after a while. However, the other 4 of you just notice that it just like kind of just stops and just goes.
Belu smiles, and why is everyone just walking off by themselves?
That's literally what I've been wondering the entire time.
Maybe you just went to go comfort Cornelian.
Anyways, we're all going. Now, I don't
Thank you.
care. Let's go. And then Belu's gonna start like pushing Father Cruz and Mimosa, and hopefully Ymir's walking too, following Idris.
Yeah, all of you guys start to move in that path and direction. Carnelian, you are kind of helming your pace a little bit as you kind of follow here. Make a survival check for me. You are now in the mode of tracking instead of just perceiving. 17. You maintain your tracking mobility. You're slowed down because of following the path, so you're no longer at that fast pace. But you do see like the marks on trees and such where people have just like put cuts in there with sabers and stuff, and you also see where those drag marks kind of stop for a moment and they're picked up and you see the drag marks stop, but you notice the effort of maybe someone like picking something up and just putting it on their shoulder or something. As you see kind of dropped onto the ground, there's like a little bracelet.
Okay.
You kind of pick it up and you kind of look upwards. It's still daytime, so you manage to like continue following the track. Idris, you catch up with Carnelian as soon as he picks up this bracelet.
No goodbye, nothing.
I'd be back.
You know I don't like that.
Velu and Ymir and Mimosa and Father Cruz, you rush up as well.
Do we hear? Do I hear Idris saying?
Nope.
You know what? Okay.
That you guys are
Velu-
approaching in that conversation afterwards.
Okay.
Are we like into separating constantly? Because what's the point of being a group at this
Oh,
point?
that's a great question, Ymir. I love
Really
that
annoying.
question.
Velu smiles. He's gonna walk up straight to Carnelian in his face.
No, Carnelian will back up. Actually,
What the fuck are you
actually,
doing?
Carnelian will stand there, doing what I want.
Interesting. Do you like having that freedom? Do you want to be by yourself?
You guys wanted to stay. I didn't want to stay. And so I am going to do what I want to.
Which is because I don't think this is the way to Halavar.
No. I decided to follow the tracks.
To the
And
You
see where the
couldn't
pirates
tell us
led
any
up
of
to.
that?
I tried to tell you guys I didn't want to stay, and you guys didn't want to listen. So
Yeah, but you also didn't want to go find the pirates.
no, I did, and then I came back, and then
Can I make an
I
insight check?
decided to go back.
Yeah.
So
I would say Carnelian, you can choose. You're technically not lying. You're technically not telling the truth here. I would say you can make your decision of deception and persuasion. Don't tell me which one, and just tell me the value of the roll. Father Cruz, hold off on your roll for a second.
um,
Just tell me the value.
Did you just swallow?
I don't know who that was. That was
Oh,
crazy
14.
sounding.
It sounded like someone swallowed.
That was the monster in the background that you guys now ran into.
that was
Oh,
me
God.
making my lips bump.
Okay, stop.
Yo.
I was blowing my lips, man. Like
What was it total?
14.
14. Okay. Father Cruz, you can make an insight check. However, you're not allowed to use guidance on this.
That's fine. I got 17.
Okay. I would allow you to explain Carnelian, but there is a little bit that I'm going to glisten off of after the fact. So you can describe a little bit. Again, Father Cruz peers into you like an open book. This is the second time now that Father Cruz has seen a little bit past your facade. I would say that you reveal a little bit more as far as like the motivations of your character's motives.
Carnelian's annoyed, and he wants to, since feels like he's kind of forced into this situation of, well, I can't really go by myself because it's too dangerous. So I'm gonna, I guess, linger in this area and still do what I want to and make the time of my choice, because I'm not gonna cook food for people.
You kind of Father Cruz, and as well as on top of that, you look at Carnelian and he has a sense of different passion in his eyes that he usually does. He was silent basically all day yesterday, and today he's had more emotion than he showed for the last time since you met him. There's something about this scenario that he doesn't feel comfortable in doing nothing. And he also feels as though maybe what you guys are doing is nothing.
Strike me as you trying to do something. You've always stayed at the back. You haven't talked to many people. If you truly wanted to leave and not follow those pirates, you would have gone the opposite direction.
Well, I can't travel by myself, so going outwards into the other city. So this is my pastime while you guys cook or whatever.
You think you're gonna be able to take down a whole bunch of pirates who destroyed the town.
I can sure kill a few.
And then what?
And then you die in the process. Is that what you're saying? Go for it.
I
Be
have a
my
long
guest.
ass sniper range. Yeah, you can get on my face, by the way. Cornelia will back up.
You were already back out of character. Didn't you already back up?
No,
I
he stood
took-
in
I
place.
took
Yeah,
back on it. I took it back.
The
Hey,
little
you're all up in his grill, dog.
Sorry, I just want to make sure.
No, you're good. I took it back, so I was just standing there, kind of to stand my ground, and my character got annoyed and just backed up.
Ymir's gonna bump in between them, and he's gonna be like, "Okay, guys, let's relax for a second.
Also, Velu's still smiling.
I just think
Like
that
always.
if you're going to detach from the group, you could at least give a notice so that we can keep tabs and make sure you're okay. Because I don't personally know you, so I don't personally care what happens to you, but Idris knows you, and I think Idris cares about what happens to you. And if you're gonna kick some pirate ass, I want a cool pirate hat out of it, so I'd also like to kick some pirate ass. I don't really know what the context is, but they might have cool, funny clothing to wear. So let's go kick some pirate ass for whatever we're actually doing.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Ymir, you calm
as the
down.
As the note of now, I am going. Whoever wants to go can follow. Cornelia will turn back around and start looking at the path.
It's not following, it's more so like we're just gonna move as a group to go kick pirate ass. But like, I love the spirit.
Cornelia was
Yeah. Deflating Carnelian's cool badass side, one line at a time. Ymir, Father Cruz, you're still hearing this insight like as it's progressively like the conversation's going. You know, there's more to unpack there, and I think even given the situation, your mind travels to the same feelings that you may have felt at one point when you felt passionate, where you felt like you were making decisions based on rationality and like based on irrationality, and you worry about that. But you understand what that impact has done for you in your life. You've lived many years, and you've had your moments. Even Mimosa has had those moments as well, and you remember going through that with the Mimosa at a young age. So a lot of this kind of tethers again to one another, where each of you are kind of like understanding this subject. Idris, however, you still have a little bit of contempt. Like, I would imagine that Idris right now worked as a team with Carnelian for a while, and this is unlike him.
Yeah, she's a little pissed. She's just standing there, arms crossed, and she's like, okay, sure.
You feel that little bit of tether break between the two of you, I'd imagine, Carnelian. You feel like maybe you kind of stepped on toes there. But no, all together now. As you guys progress, as you guys continue to progress and walk as a group, Carnelian, you follow the tracks that you have found, and everybody else amongst the group, you kind of carry on this tone of, you know, okay, now we're going to check this out, and like it's a little awkward, but as the steps kind of get through, the tension dies a bit as you guys walk away from the town a little bit more. You guys are now within the cedar paths offside of the trail, and now following this pirate trail. And with that, we're going to end the session early.
All right. Perfect. You have to leave.
So, again, we end off on a note where our party now ventures to go take basically back what was stolen from these groups and start working on some efforts to make amends for what was lost. I enjoyed learning a lot about the interactions and developments between each of you, but I think I'm more interested to understand that maybe this next session a combat encounter actually ensues for the entire group. So prepare for that.
Every enemy.
Prepare for
Killing
that in your
everybody.
prepare for that in your minds as you go into your next game. And with that being said,